Hey to Chris McDermott, you're pretty pumped as well.
Oh, Jay, it's been a big week for footy in South Australia. Big night tonight, 50,000 people here. The pubs and clubs are full of people. Big news though, no Matthew Primus for the Power, no McLeod for the Crows. A real 50-50 game tonight.
Will be a fantastic contest. They are playing for the Showdown Trophy. As I mentioned, the 11th Showdown. Port Adelaide lead the ledger 6-4. Gary Ayres and his boys pretty keen to turn that around this evening as we look at the 2002 ladder. Both sides pretty well placed after four rounds.
Yeah, Crows off to a great start in the middle of 3 tough games. They really need to win tonight's game.
And as I mentioned, Port Adelaide started the season slowly, but the last 2 weeks just building towards their best. And you get the feeling a showdown is exactly the sort of game that will see them hit their straps.
Absolutely. A little hangover after the Wizard Cup final. They're in very good form.
Well, it is an Adelaide home game, so we can expect the crowd to be slightly in their favour this evening. Let's check in with Tiffany Cherry. She's with Adelaide coach Gary Ayres.
Well, Gary, the crowd, bragging rights, how much do you really have to address the players before such a big match like this?
I don't think you have to that much, Tiffany, because they realise what it is today or tonight now, and of course you can see now at 5 o'clock with the crowd getting bigger and here very early, so it's really a case of pretty intense rivalry that's been brought about by the admission of Port to the competition in '97. So, you know, we really have been on the end of some losses over the last couple of years, so we want to hopefully turn that around.
The loss of McLeod, obviously your most potent weapon. You've already said that you can't account for that, but you've got to try and plug it somehow. So how do you expect to do that?
What you do is you ask for a bigger commitment from your senior players, and whether that's Mark Rashudo, Mark Bickley, Kane Johnson, Simon Goodwin, Tyson Edwards, who can all play in the middle. And then you obviously want your younger players like a Matty Bode or Mick Doherty, who have shown some pretty good improvement in their game, for them to try and spread the load a little bit more. So that's what I'll be asking the guys to do.
It's going to be a fantastic midfield shootout. One man missing this evening is Andrew McLeod. Do the Crows have the options to cover him? Well, it is a fantastic tradition, started back in 1997. Let's take a look at the history between these two great sides.
The ledger sits at 6-4 in favour of Port Adelaide, who won the first ever showdown by 11 points back in 1997. Adelaide edged in front courtesy of wins in showdowns 2, 4 and 5 before Port Adelaide turned the tables, winning 4 of their last 5 meetings by an average of 36 points.
And Lockwood kicking 6 goals, 5 in a local competition. If you don't mind.
The Crows haven't beaten Port since round 7 2000, when they came storming home from a 25-point deficit at the final change to win a thriller by 7 points.
Dangerous, but he's beautiful talent. Somehow he escaped. And he has just about got it.
Port got their revenge in round 22 2000, slamming on 9 goals to 1 in the opening term to eventually run out comfortable 47-point winners. Bowen Lockwood and Peter Burgoyne each finishing with 4 goals. The Power went on to win both showdowns in 2001, a 65-point thumping in round 3, Port's biggest ever win over their rivals. Gavin Wanganeen finishing with 6 goals. But last year's rematch was much tighter, Port prevailing by 8 points in round 18, having fought back from the 37-point deficit midway through the second term to triumph over the fast-finishing Adelaide in front of a record footy park crowd of just under 50,000.
Is he? He will. Port again. They're racing away, Port Adelaide.
Suspended Adelaide champion Andrew McLeod was best to field that day, whilst Brett Montgomery and Josh Franku dominated for Port. One thing has remained constant through all 10 showdowns. They are all physically and emotionally intense, and tonight's Showdown 11 in front of yet another capacity crowd promises to be no exception.
Eviction number 2 is approaching. Katrina really wants to stay.
Will she go?
Turkan's found a new soulmate.
Will they part?
Alex is a first-time nominee.
Is he next?
You decide who's about to join Damien on the outside. Big Brother Eviction, 7:30 Sunday. Then 7:30 Monday.
Marty.
Pete. Jess.
They're becoming more open about their feelings towards each other. So who are they nominating next? And why? Live nominations, 7:30 Monday.
Casual Living Furniture's catalogue is out now. Don't miss our latest catalogue packed with the best in outdoor furniture, stunning sofas and fantastic bedding, all at special prices. Casual Living Furniture, Keswick, Marion and Enfield. Catalogue out now.
Heading into the final term, and the Crows move ahead through McLeod. But what's this? Primus breaks from the pack and scores for the Power!
With this weekend's Sunday Mail, you can score your 2002 official AFL Crows or Power autograph and sticker album at participating newspaper outlets for only $2. On Monday, collect your free Crows and Power AFL team stickers in the Advertiser. Then complete the entire team by collecting your sticker sheets for just $1 each with a daily token.
Teams have been sticking to each other all afternoon.
The action starts this weekend in the Sunday Mail. Don't miss out.
I'll tell you what, they're running on empty out there. They really need some fresh legs. And here they come, off the bench and raring to go. This will make a huge difference, straight into the heat of the action. This is exactly what they need.
Golden draft, thanks. Well, he debuted back in 1997. He's a dual All-Australian, a dual Premiership player, and tonight Simon Goodwin becomes a 100-game player for the Adelaide Football Club. Welcome along to Mark Aston. Mark, a brilliant night for football.
Oh, no question about that. And as you guys said in the opening, the whole week really has been dominated by footy. There's been obviously a little bit of basketball with the Sixers winning the championship, but it's all been dominated by football. It's all been dominated by whether or not Matty Primus would play. We know he won't play now, and it's all been dominated by Andrew McLeod, of course, not taking part in what is going to be one of the biggest games played here at Footy Park. Almost a capacity crowd. They reckon around about 53,000 here, Jason.
So, Chris McDermott, what do you make of the lineups for both sides?
Yeah, look, it's going to be really interesting. You know, the inclusion of Ben Marsh. We see there John Cock. He was a revelation for the Crows in the forward lines in the last half last week. Really gave them some bite up forward. And Kingsley, what sort of form's he in? 30 touches last week in great nick.
And Mead back in business, Chris, after being dropped earlier in the season.
His form was great. Mark Stevens a little bit disappointing. The Crows, Brett Burton, he's a special up in the forward line. Takes a great catch, a great duel with Montgomery.
And Josh Carr, not just defensive anymore, but offensive as well. And it looks as though he'll take on Rashudo. Should be a great clash, that one.
A couple of tough nuts. I hope they do. Look, Carr can push forward and kick a goal. He's a critical player for the Power.
And Treadray back in business as far as form is concerned last week.
Yeah, look, he was great. Kicked a lot of goals off his left foot. He still has some trouble with his set shots for goal, but a tremendous talent up forward, and they've got to watch him, that's for sure, as they do with Chad Corns, who is an enigma up there, working very hard with Wanganeen alongside him, a potent forward line.
Yeah, Massey gets his opportunity tonight as well, and we wish him well. Interesting here, of course, now, a big night for Barnaby French.
Oh, look, it's a huge duel. You know, Big Lands and French, both second-tier ruckmen come the start of the year, have taken over the mantle tonight as #1 ruckman for their club. Both clubs very good at getting the ball away from clearances. It'll be interesting to see who gets their hand to the ball first.
And there are the benches, the respective benches for Port Adelaide and also the Crows.
Yeah, the interesting one, the inclusion of Nelson, a noted tagger, so I'm sure they'll use him at some night as a stopper on one of the Port Adelaide on-ballers.
Okay, so the toss of the coin about to get underway, and Adelaide have won it. So Adelaide win the first battle, if you like, Chris, of the night.
Yeah, absolutely, but it's such a beautiful night. Hardly any wind at all. No real favouritism at their end.
Okay, here's Tiffany Cherry on the boundary. Good evening to you, Tiffany.
Good evening. I tell you what, it's tribe versus tribe down here. As we said before, bragging rights on the line. Who is King of Adelaide? We'll wait and see. The crowd is just, they've been streaming in since 5 o'clock. Some people even camped out overnight so they could get the best seats in the house. The ground is in perfect condition. It's a full moon. The scene is set for the perfect showdown.
Looking forward to it. Massive crowd, fantastic atmosphere. And Chris, you can't get away from this game. Come Monday, half of Adelaide's going to be getting stuck in, the other half will be licking their wounds.
Absolutely, and it filters on through the workplace for the whole week. Bragging rights for, you know, the next 3 or 4 months until Showdown 12 comes along. It is a great night for South Australian footy.
Bassett laid.
And the interesting one, boys, Tyson Stenglein, the Crows noted tagger's got Mick Stevens out on the outer wing.
So set to go here at Football Park. It is Showdown 11. The Adelaide Crows versus Port Adelaide. Barnaby French in the ruck for Port Adelaide. Carr runs onto it there. Some heavy work. It will be hot early. Schofield gets the first effective disposal of the evening. Dribbles it towards half forward. Kane Corns had the run of it. Chad Corns rather lost it. Schofield there again. Massey's got him wrapped up, and the umpire will call for a bounce. Expect some physical intensity early.
Look, Port Adelaide will take it right up to them. Don't worry about that. They'll crash into the contest. Hardwick, they've got some really tough nuts with Hardwick and Carr. They will put Adelaide under pressure the first 5 or 10.
So a bounce. Biglan's wrestles with French. French got his hands on it. Palmed it down to the Parker Rashudo. There's the 100-gamer Goodwin. In crashes French, crunches him. Took him high, and the free kick will go to Simon Goodwin. Off the back edge of the centre square. Towards half forward. Massey goes back with a flight. Created a contest. Brought it to ground level. Was great play. He's got it himself now. From 40 metres out. Screws it back towards the goal square. Opportunity for Adelaide. And the mark is taken by John Cock. Brilliant start for Chris Massey in his first game for the club.
Fantastic. First touch for the club. Did it beautifully. Hit the top of the square. And this young kid, John Cock, I tell you what, he can play. Playing back, playing forward. Put him on ball. He has got a very smart head. Held his ground. Didn't flinch. Took the catch. He's a little unpredictable at it with his shots per goal, but should have no trouble from here.
So he's an excitement machine. Graham John Cock. From 10 metres out. And he kicks the opening goal of Showdown 11. Dream start for the Crows. Less than 2 minutes gone opening term. It's Adelaide a goal. Port yet to score.
Yeah, you're right. A dream start. Great work, the young fellow. I mean, just tremendous to be able to hold his ground there under pressure. Massey did all the hard work. Just hit the ball to the top of the square. The new Crows, they're hitting the ball to the top of the square, getting the ball into the danger zone, and just did it beautifully well to hold his ground against Kingsley, who's no slouch at all. A great start to the Crows.
Yeah, John Cock accurate. About 15 from goal, slight angle, and Massey kept his head, Chris.
He certainly did. Very cool. That's why they recruited him. He is a cool player. He's got some injury worries, but he's got a very calm head.
Played 2.5 minutes, first quarter. Adelaide lead, their one goal. Port Adelaide yet to score. Showdown 11. Full house, big atmosphere, huge week, and the moment has arrived. Bounce of the ball once again in the middle. Barnaby French wins it. Crashing through there was Franco. Couldn't hold the footy. The ball on the ground. It's going nowhere. Bickley, who's had such a good start to the season in 2002, has it. Wrap him up.
Had a tremendous start to the season, finding plenty of the footy, using it beautifully well. Nigel Smart, another veteran who Gary Ayres is looking forward to stand up tonight, has got the difficult job on Warren Treadray.
Burton, who we know can be so exciting. A bit of pushing and shoving off the ball. Secondary bounce. Biglan's might have got his hand to it. Good tackle there by Adelaide. And the umpire sorted a free kick out, and it's going to Jared Schofield. Just backward of the centre square. Have another look at this. It's being held. Welsh, the infringer. And Schofield, who loves kicking goals. Away go Port Adelaide. Long kick inside 50. Laid caught at the back. Chance for Cockatoo Collins. And the umpire sorted a free kick out again, and this time it is going against Lade. It's going to the Adelaide Crows, and they'll clear the zone. It's Bassett. Stout defender. Out wide to Stengline. Up from the back pocket. At 4 minutes, first quarter. Just over the head of Biglan's. Chance for French. Got it to Bishop. He's played very well so far in season 2002. Short pass Stevens, okay. Laid about 85 from goal. Plays on Stevens. Accelerates, introduces some pace inside the 50, and they've taken a mark, and it's James. And Port Adelaide with a chance now to get their first goal on the board. Adelaide 6, Port Adelaide yet to score.
Yeah, pretty lucky there. I don't think that's the spot Nick Stevens was looking for. The ball seemed to come off the inside of his foot. But again, you get the ball into the danger zone often enough, you're going to open up some scoring opportunities, and James is a beautiful kick for goal from inside 50. He should have no trouble.
45-degree angle. So James now. And that's a reverse angle shot, and it is through. Port get there first. It's all squared away.
Gee, smooth ride. Standard air. ABS, and look at all these extras. Sports trim, automatic transmission, cruise control, 16-inch alloys, rear spoiler. He's got the lot. How'd he score this? Look at him. Thinks he's king of the road.
So, what do you think?
About what?
New Series 3 Falcon SR, now sporting unbeatable value.
Adelaide one straight, Port one straight. 5.5 minutes gone. And a bright opening to this game, as you'd expect. Back in the middle. French came down to Nick Stevens. Dribbles a kick towards half forward, but it's Goodwin for Adelaide to tidy up. Handball off to Perry. Perry will kick towards half forward. Numbers there for Adelaide, but Port win it at ground level. It's Bishop. Handball off to Carr. He goes inboard and finds Schofield. So Schofield has got a couple of men in space. Uses one now. It's Wanganeen. 65 from home. Goes inside the 50. And the mark is taken by Chad Corns.
Gee, the Crows need to be very careful. Last week against Essendon, their midfield was extremely loose, got cut up badly. Some worrying signs at this early stage of the quarter. Port Adelaide's midfield, Stevens and the like getting their hands on the ball.
So Chad Corns, 4 goals, 3 for the season. From right on 50, we're behind the kick. It's just fading to the left-hand side. Didn't quite get there. Punch back into play. It's at the top of the square. Perry has it for Adelaide. Chain of handballs. It comes to Kane Johnson. He swings it wide and finds Burton at left half-back. So Burton tried to kick around his body. Didn't make good contact. Put his man Stevens under pressure. He rose to the occasion. Will take a free kick. Just copped one high. And the Crows have it smack bang on centre wing. So Mark Stevens towards half forward. They'll contest at the 50. It is no contest. Adelaide up, and the mark is taken by Biglands. Spears it inside 50. The lead's on from John Cock. Beautiful kick from Biglands. And John Cock takes the mark on his chest. 25 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
See, we're going to get some joy out of watching this kid play footy. I mean, the beauty with Rhett Biglands is he can push forward. His great disposal, not noted for his pinpoint passing, but Graham Johncock, again, as the go-to man up forward, led beautifully.
So he's already kicked one. Playing his 5th game of football this evening. Recruited from the Port Magpies. Pick number 67 in the 2000 draft. In comes John Cocker. Starts out to the right-hand side and he fades it back beautifully. He's kicked his second, and the Crows lead by a goal.
The Doorbuster door sale is on this weekend at Doors Plus for 4 days only. All stock reduced by up to 50%. You will save on bifolds, entry doors, interior doors, 10-light joinery doors, and locks, knobs and knockers. Plus we can fit, stain and deliver. Save up to 50% this weekend only at the Doors Plus 4-day Doorbuster sale. Ends Monday. For a free measure and quote and huge savings, visit a Doors Plus showroom today. Doors Plus, no fuss.
So Graham Johncock, wonderful start for him. Adam Kingsley with his hands well and truly full in the early stages of Showdown 11. It's 2 goals Adelaide, Port Adelaide 1 goal. 12-6, Adelaide lead. And there's 1 kick in it. And we've played almost 9 minutes. Stenglon went without it. James about to run on. Tried to kick it around the corner. Comes to Adelaide, now Biglands. Alongside the centre circle, kicks inside 50. Looking for Fitzgerald, can't find him. Second effort needs to be good. It is. Well done to Stevens. Stevens, reverse screwy, and has kicked well, he's kicked nothing. It's gone across the face, and it's out of bounds. Left forward pocket. Big chance for Stevens. Good second effort there, though, Chris, by Ryan Fitzgerald.
Certainly was, and the Crows really need to start well. That's their strength, the first quarter.
Throw in, left forward pocket for Adelaide. Loose ball, Welsh kicks off the grand sting line, chance to kick a goal, just couldn't quite because he fumbled. The ball is held up in the goal square and the umpire comes over and he will bounce about 10 metres from the Adelaide goal. So it is tense, it continues to build this pressure. It's 2 goals Adelaide, Port Adelaide 1 goal. We've played just on 10 minutes. Players pointing all over the place. So the door slightly ajar here for Adelaide. They just need clean possession. Fitzgerald, kick to the boundary line, and that's what Port want, and that's what they get. And once again, the umpire to toss it in just up from that forward pocket for Adelaide.
A couple of reasonable jewels out there. Damien Hardwick on Mark Rasciuto's a beauty, and Josh Carr picking up Kane Johnson.
So Biglands will go against French. Johnson kicks smothered, but it rebounds to Stenglon, snaps across his body and kicks another one.
Well, that's what they've got to do, taggers. If they've got a big job on an opposition player like Tyson Stenglon has tonight on Nick Stevens, you've got to be able to push forward and put the opponent under pressure. Stenglon doing it on that occasion, snapping truly, not his strength, but did it extremely well, putting Nick Stevens under defensive pressure. Stevens not within Cooey. Tyson snapping around his shoulder. And the start the Crows needed. 3-1, a great start. This is when they're at their best. When they're in front, running and full of confidence.
So I've gone 11 minutes in the opening term. It's the Crows by 12 points. 2 goals to John Cock and 1 to Stengline. Can Port respond? French and Biglands go at it again. Burgoyne taps it to Franco's advantage. Tries to get around Stengline, got caught but got the hands free. Got it to James, the whistle's gone. Advantage Port Adelaide. Carr taken in the tackle by Goodwin but dished off, and Port go thumping inside 50. Treadray Lade is there as well. Fist towards the 50. Horns. Little handball over the top. Franco's crunched in a tackle. Players throwing themselves in with reckless abandon. There's James. Umpire has plucked out a free kick. Dowdy going Adelaide's way. So Dowdy has it. Just inside defensive 50 for the Crows. They break for him now. Massey comes to the members' wing and takes the mark in front of Cockatoo Collins. Gives the handball off to Edwards. Towards half forward. Contest. Mark taken by Stevens. Handball to Edwards. He runs to 52. Runs out brilliantly by Wanganeen. Laid in there on hands and knees trying to get it out for Port Adelaide. It comes towards Goodwin. He's 20 metres out. Taken in a tackle by Kingsley. Stevens piles in as well and will have a bounce.
Vintage showdown stuff into the tackling over the last couple of minutes has been tremendous. The Crows were very ordinary in that department last week. No, Gary Ayres has brought it up during the week. They've got to improve their tackling, and it's certainly the case tonight.
Adelaide by 12. Umpire to bounce 25 metres in front of the Adelaide goal. Fitzgerald knocks it to the side of the pack. A chance now for Stengline, about 15 metres out. Beautiful. Well done by Port Adelaide. High kick by Adelaide. It's Welsh into the right forward pocket. Almost Burton can't quite. He's got 2 or 3 around him. It's pretty tight. An uncompromising footy at the moment. And the umpire will bounce right forward pocket. Adelaide into attack again. They lead 3 goals. Port Adelaide 1 goal.
Forward line pressure from the Adelaide forwards this year has been a real treat. It's been a real strength of their game. Great smother on that occasion from Wakeland. But the work of Welsh, Fitzgerald, Burton up in the forward lines has been a reason why the Crows have been so successful early. Blood rule by the looks, boys.
Barnaby French come to the boundary line. So an opportunity for Adelaide. You can see Barnaby French there. The knock to the nose. Port Adelaide will just have to restructure here. And as we can see, trotting up from the forward line, Brendan Lade presenting himself. He's going to go down and take the ruck contest here. It's in a very dangerous position.
It certainly is. Look, Lade was great in the ruck last week when Primus went down. He really gets his hand to the foot. He does extremely good work in the back play. Guerra comes on, French comes off. They'll lose nothing by having Brendan Lade in the ruck. He's a class player. And that is a fair beat.
Gone almost 14 minutes in this opening term. It's Lade will go in the ruck contest against Biglands. Montgomery took it from the ruck contest. Go to the handball to Schofield. Advantage paid to Port Adelaide. The handball was in hope. Rashudo grabbed it, but he was wrapped up in a tackle by Roger James.
Bringing it back, boys. I think just going to repay Port Adelaide the advantage.
It was originally for Montgomery. Was scragged in the tackle when he took the bounce from the ruck contest. He gives it over the top to Kingsley. He runs to defensive 50, spears it around the outer wing, and Warren Treadray takes the mark. Wants to move it on quickly. Has James in space. Towards half forward. Cockatoo Collins is his target. He takes the mark in front of Massey. In fact, a free kick paid for in the back. It's about 85 metres out from goal. Shea Cockatoo Collins wants to move it quickly. Inside the 50. Up goes big Brendan Lade. Takes a very strong chest mark. 40 metres out from goal.
Class player, Brendan Lade, either in the back play or up forward. He's a real talent to be able to catch the football like he does. Just used his body beautifully, took it on the chest. And even though they've lost Primus, he is a quality player.
And as it turns out, that blood rule, fortuitous. Lade's gone down to the back line. He's now just been drifting back to the forward line. It created some space for himself, and he dropped back to take the mark.
Certainly did.
So here's Brendan Lade, 48-38 in his career. He's played 72 games of football, 4 goals, 3 for the season. There's the reverse angle from 45 metres out. He's put it straight through the middle. Port Adelaide had their second.
Blues Brothers, PPR. VB cap with every slab of VB cans or stubbies for $27.99. Johnny Walker Red only $25.99. Celebrate this Mother's Day with Jacobs Creek Sparkling Range $8.99 each or $7.99 for 6 or more. St Agnes Brandy $20.99 or Bailey's Irish Cream only $26.99.
Adelaide 3 goals, Port Adelaide 2. And Brent Adelaide with his first. He's had an extraordinary 2 years, breaking his league a couple of times. There's the bounce in the middle again. And Lade wins it. Stengline, well done, Adelaide, out of the middle. Goodwin, inside the 50. They contest about 45 metres from goal. Here's Welsh, accelerating away and then left puts it. It's going to go close. It's off to the right-hand side, as it turns out. Through for a behind. Adelaide 3 goals, 119. Port Adelaide 2 goals. Here's Tiffany Cherry down on the boundary.
Yeah, Barnaby French just being attended to by the medical guys, and they've cleaned him up. He should be right to come back on very soon.
So James with a kick in for Port Adelaide. Takes it to the outer side. Pack of players fly. Ball hits the deck. It's picked up by Hardwick. Handball into the path of Wakeland. A man running in support is Burgoyne. Uses him by hand. Towards half forward. A contest just outside 50. Ben Hart takes the mark. Streams forward. Chance for Adelaide on the counter-attack. It comes to Kane Johnson. Johnson spears to centre-half forward. It just sat up too much for Rashudo. It allowed Port Adelaide to intercept through Nick Stevens, and will have a bounce 55 metres out from the Adelaide goal. We see Barnaby French just coming back on, replacing Brent Guerra.
And Mark Rashudo, boys, yet to touch the footy.
17 3/4 minutes gone. It's Adelaide by 7 points. Biglands with the tap. Stengline wrapped up by the Roger James tackle. Players pile in. It's pretty willing in there. We'll have another bounce.
He is one tough nut though, Tyson Stengline. Don't worry about that. That will not hurt him one bit.
So we'll do it all again. Stengline. Standing his man as always. Tononi has Nick Stevens. Bigland's got the tap down. Sharked by Goodwin. Pumps it inside 50 for Adelaide. Opportunity here for Fitzgerald, but he couldn't pick it up. And Darryl Wakeland takes it towards the boundary line and finds it.
Yes, I think the big fellow was looking for an out on the full. It's a showdown. How do you do, I would thought.
Good evening and welcome. Throw in. Biglands works late under the football. Spills to the back of the contest. Schofield. Handballs in hope. Kane Johnson runs onto it for Adelaide. Handball releases Hart. Spears it inside 50 to an unmarked man. And it is the former skipper, Mark Bickley. 30 metres out from goal, directly in front. A chance for Adelaide to kick their fourth.
Yeah, well, Mark Bickley this year's just turned into a ball magnet. Footy's just finding him. Benny Hart getting the ball on that occasion. Bickley pushing forward, just standing again in the corridor, as the Crows have been so well drilled to do this year. Get themselves up and down the middle of the ground, in the corridor, in the best spot. Bickley doing it, having a shot for goal.
67 goals in his 232 games. He'd enjoy this one. On its way. Never looked like missing. Adelaide have 4.
Discount City Carpets exclusively brings you Gracewood. Be it home, office or showroom, Gracewood is the only multi-layered, non-warped, single-plank natural timber flooring. At present, Discount City Carpets have released a limited stock of this superb timber flooring at the unbeatable price of just $59.95 per square metre. Gracewood is easy to install for the handy person, or installation can be arranged. Gracewood and Discount City Carpet Superstores, an unbeatable team.
Adelaide by 15. Dual premiership captain Mark Bickley, the goal scorer. 4-1 Adelaide. Port Adelaide 2 goals. And away we go again. French gets his hand to it. Goodwin quickly. Now Edwards, deflection. That's 60 metres from goal. Welsh's hand pass a beauty. And Johnson inside 50. He's a long way away there. And that is a hook around the corner. And Ryan Fitzgerald misses. He was a long way up the ground and 2 or 3 metres in front of his opponent there, Chris. Ryan Fitzgerald.
Yeah, he did it well. They took the ball cleanly. Had an unlikely shot from about 40 out, but as a full forward, he would have licence to do that. And it wasn't that close, Fitzy.
25-12. Hardwick. Back pocket. Now Kingsley. There's John Cock, who has been lively, kicked a couple of goals. He's standing the mark. This is Adam Kingsley. Deep into the first quarter of Showdown 11. Punch from behind by Adelaide. Good defensive work. Over the line, umpire to toss in far side.
Leading possession getters for both sides. Kate Johnson's had 6, Goodwin 5, Welsh 4 for Adelaide. For Port Adelaide, James, Stevens and Schofield all with 4 apiece. Biglands versus French. At ground level at Stengline. Back towards the line. Doughty takes possession, takes it over and out for yet another throw in. So the game's just settled now.
Yeah, she has.
Pretty fierce early. It's just settled down, and Adelaide would be pretty happy to be a couple of goals in front when that process took place. Biglands and French again. There's Schofield, Franco. Doughty wrapped up in a tackle by Hardwick, and again the ball finds the boundary line.
Yeah, and a couple of players still not really getting into the contest. Josh Franco's only touched the footy once, as we said before. Mark Prosciutto yet to touch the ball, so it's still an arm wrestle at this stage. The game hasn't really opened up yet.
Important player, Franco. He's been just about Port's best player in the last 4 Showdown wins. Bigland's a beautiful tap down. Adelaide go forward towards the 50, but only as far as Bishop. Tried to tuck it under his arm, but the tackle came from Welsh. Stengline wrapped up, and yet another stoppage. Umpire will ball it up just forward to centre wing on the outer side. Slightly in Adelaide's advantage. And with just under 6.5 minutes left in the opening term, they lead by 13 points.
Just get the feeling Adelaide are a little bit harder at the body than they were last week against the Bombers, Chris.
I'm sure they got that message during the week.
Busy area, far side of the ground. It spills to the back. Hardwick. Now Franco. As Jason said, and Chris said, he hasn't been in the game as much as he would have liked. Barnaby French outnumbered. They should wrap it up here, Adelaide, and they do. And the captain gets a wide hand pass to Massey. Prosciutto to Massey. Massey now. Tyson Edwards about 75 metres from goal. Tight angle, chips inside 50. No mark, couple up. Here's John Cock brought to ground. Free kick, Adelaide, is it? It is. It's going to Stevens. So Stevens, tight angle, probably 30 metres from goal.
Oh, I tell you what, and a little bit fortunate too. Occasionally you get lucky ones, and when you get lucky ones like Mark Stevens just got then, you've got to make it count on the scoreboard. Mark Stevens must finish.
So the action with Stevens. Adelaide 25, Port Adelaide 12. Reverse angle again, it's coming back. It is through the middle. Stevens gets another for Adelaide.
Can we interest you in a mind game? Introducing 2 of the greatest players.
How do we trip this guy up?
At the special time Sunday.
People like me are always target.
2 compelling cases. A twisted psychiatrist on a mind mission.
I have plenty of lady friends.
And a good cop gone bad.
Let's not run games on each other.
See the clues. Seek the killer. Don't miss a minute.
I got money. Whoa, whoa!
A special movie-length premiere. Criminal Intent. 8:30 Sunday on 10.
Deep into time on, the Crows take a 19-point lead through that goal from Mark Stevens. Inside 50s, 9-5 in favour of the Crows in this opening term. They've had 12 more possessions. They've used the ball pretty well. Biglands against French. Schofield first onto it. Sockers it off the ground. Chance here for Massey. Tried to paddle it out, but was grabbed by Burgoyne. He dishes to Cockatoo Collins, spears inside 50, Treadray's his target, spills to the back of that contest. Smart puts him under the pressure. Wanganeen in there working hard as well. And Nathan Bassett takes it to the boundary line.
Yeah, they really have done well, Adelaide. All the moves they've made, the Massey one on Cockatoo Collins, Edwards on Wanganeen, everything's working for them at the moment. Certainly looking the better of the 2 teams.
Throw in, deep in attack for Port. Perry works his man under the ball, tries to go and get it again. It comes to Wanganeen. Flying snapper goal from Gavin Wanganeen is a beauty.
Well, he's a class player, Gavin Wanganeen. Tyson Edwards, as we just said, has got the tough job on him. That's the beauty of this man. He only needs to touch the footy on a few occasions, and he hurts you. Just finds a way to get hold of the ball in traffic, and he knows where the goals are. Can kick goals, That's kicked 6 in a showdown before, and that was a very much needed goal to Port Adelaide.
I think he started off his career as a gun-back pocket player. Certainly has had no trouble making the adjustment and going forward later in his career. Reads the play so very, very well, and as you mentioned, only needs half an opportunity. And that's an important goal for Port, just keeps them back within 13 points in the shadows of quarter time.
5-1, plays 3 goals. 13 the difference. Quarter time is approaching. Goodwin trying to work his way through a very tight area. Out toward Hart now for Adelaide on the wing. That's on the eastern side, and he swings around and he can see the goal. He's about 75 from goal and outstorms a forward. He can't take the mark, and that was Ryan Fitzgerald.
Oh, free kick. And it's Adelaide's way, boys.
So perhaps another lucky one, and this time it's for Burton, so it must have been something off the footy. 31-18. Let's have another look here.
Well, you could have been excused for Ryan Fitzgerald getting a free kick there. Barnaby French didn't really have eyes for the contest, and Montgomery pushing him off the ball.
Well, here's Burton now, and his shot is just through.
Well, great goal again. Crows, 2 free kicks inside, 52 goals, really hurting Port Adelaide with those opportunities. Brett Burton just walking into the contest, a very lucky free kick off the ball.
Let's head boundary side. Here's Tiffany Cherry.
Yeah, Bickley's just come off, and Josh Franco just has come on. But keep your eye on Wakeland. Looked like he injured himself then when he went up for the mark.
So a bit happening, a bit of feeling in this game. Montgomery, generally pretty unhappy with the situation. Looked up at the umpire after a previous contest. We have a blood rule. It's Adam Kingsley coming to the bench.
Well, I saw the free kick in the back of the screen, and it certainly looked like it was there. I mean, you pay those. If you pay the Stevens free kick, you pay that one. And you don't put yourself in those opportunities.
That's frustration, I think, from Brett Montgomery. You see him crashing in there left of screen. He went to ground after the last centre bounce, turned around, pleaded with the umpire, and then took off. So it's steam coming out of his ears.
And Jared Polton heading over toward John Cock.
So it's Adelaide by 19 points. 28 and a quarter minutes gone in this opening term. French gets the tap. Burgoyne tried to get his arms free, but wrapped up. Gang tackled by Adelaide players there. We'll have yet another bounce. There's plenty happening. Just a little bit of niggle in here, isn't there, in the pack situations at the moment? They're not tidying themselves up as neatly as they probably could.
Look, there always is in showdowns. There's always a little bit of niggle. We'll go back to showdown 1 with the Jamison-Cummings contest, and there's always that little bit of feeling. It's fantastic. It's what footy's all about.
Plenty of pride on the line this evening. Mark Rasciuto just barking orders there to his teammates. He has Roger James wearing him as a second skin. Neither ruckman a particularly effective tap. It came to Stengline. His kick inside 50 for Adelaide. Welsh peeled off the contest. Great commitment there from Hardwick. Put his body on the line. It spills to Doughty. Gets around onto his left boot. Chips it inside and finds Johnson. Took it on the half volley. Handball was looking for Fitzgerald. Wakeland takes it to the line. He's been pinged for deliberate. The free kick will go to Adelaide. It'll go to Ryan Fitzgerald. Darryl Wakeland gaining possession, trotting over the boundary line. And umpire Andrew Coates penalises him. Fitzgerald, deep in that right forward pocket, wants to square it up. Oh, great fly from Cockatoo Collins. Brought the ball to ground, that was important. Carr got it out towards Chad Corns. Kept it in front of himself and maintained his feet. He had 4 to beat though. In the end, numbers won out. But Port Adelaide ultimately went out. It's a free kick.
Too high.
Going the way of Chad Corns. Taken high in that tackle. Costly mistake there for Adelaide. They had numbers at ground level.
Did it well, Chad. Made sure he took possession.
Handball off to Hardwick. Draws the man to him and handballs on to Mead. Mead will go inside 50. Tread raise his target. Clears the contest with he and Smart. Crashing through was Hart to Goodwin to Smart. High ball into the centre of Football Park. The punch came from Welsh. He'll go again. Polton was taken high as he got rid of it. The ball goes inside 50 for Port. It's Adelaide camped underneath it. The mark taken by Hart. He'll switch play to the outer side. Here's a man in space. It's Stengline.
Here's Stengline now from half back down toward the wing. Mark taken by Perry. Chips at 25 metres. Probably not even that, actually, about 15. Johnson got caught. Got around the oncoming Port player. 37 plays 18. Johnson measures the kick, only as far as Mead, picking up the crumbs as Stevens. Good tackling by Port Adelaide. They're desperate in defence, as you can imagine. So are Adelaide, up into their attacking zone. All free kick Port, and they'll get out of this Hardwick back pocket. We've got a minute 50 remaining, pushing the back. A minute 50 remaining, and that was against Welsh. Hardwick, half back. Perry tried to get his hand to it, grabbed by Bode. Hand pass, a left-hand hand pass, it went straight to Corns. High kick down toward left half forward. Smart, battling. Chance for Massey and Cockatoo Collins. That's been an interesting duel. Bassett close to the line. Treadray also pushed over the line in the footy as well. Out of bounds, left half forward for Port.
Yeah, the Crows doing it well at ground level last week. They were really under the pump, beaten by Essendon. The contest, Essendon were much harder than them, but the Crows have got their edge back tonight.
Treadray, just the one disposal so far. Nigel Smart doing the job on him. Comes to Doughty from the ruck contest. Kicks around the outer wing. Ball in open space. Numbers with Adelaide. Mead quickly in there for Port. Crashing into was Chad Corns. And we'll have another bounce. You don't get two opportunities here, do you? You get one chance to pick it up, and if you don't, you're pounced on.
But you said it during the call then, the Crows have got the numbers. They're first at the contest, and that's the most important indicator for them, whether they're switched on. They've got numbers at the footy, and they are first at the contest at the moment.
We're into the final minute of the opening term. It could be an important one. The margin is 19 points in favour of Adelaide. Carr tries to run onto the ball. Doughty paddles it towards the line. Franco tries to keep it in. He's taken to the line. Wants to shape up to Michael Doughty there. There goes the old Darren Creswell rubber legs.
Nothing wrong with that.
Doesn't get it on that occasion.
You want to upset Josh Franco, he can go off.
So French went with the backhanded tap. Hardwick wrapped up by Rasciuto. We'll have yet another bounce. Damien Hardwick, he loves it tough and tight. He'll revel in these atmosphere. Umpire just speaking to him now, telling him to settle down. In fact, there's a blood rule. He's not too happy about it, but he's going to have to go off. With less than 30 seconds remaining in the opening term. It's Adelaide 6-1-37. Porter 3 straight goals. And nothing more frustrating, I think, to a player than being sent off for the blood rule, particularly when there's no active bleeding. There is Franco. He was in mid-air.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that from Doughty's point of view. I mean, we've all seen Josh, and he's got a short fuse as part of his game that he needs to improve, trying to draw a free kick. But Adelaide will be at him all night, niggling him, trying to upset him, trying to put him off his game. He's a class player. He's been great in the showdowns over the previous few years. They want to try and put him off his game any way they can.
Just the two possessions at the moment for Josh Franco. And a bounce just forward of the wing for Port Adelaide. Sharked by James from the French hit out towards half forward. And the siren sounds for quarter time just as Shea Cockatoo Collins lurks. So at quarter time, it's the Adelaide Crows, 6-1-37, leading Port Adelaide 3 straight goals. The margin is 19 points here at Football Park in Showdown 11.
For one housemate, time is up. You decide who's leaving the Big Brother house. Call 1902 555 010 to vote out Katrina. Or 1902 555 011 to vote out Turkan. Or 1902 555 012 to vote out Alex. Voting lines will close 7:30 Sunday. Plus, watch out for your chance to win a Pizza Hut Big Brother eviction holiday. You have the power. Make your vote count. The Big Brother eviction, 7:30 Sunday on 10.
Optus Mobile's new Your Call plans with Yes Anyphone lets you catch up with all your friends. Because now you can call anyone on any mobile or home phone, anywhere in Australia, any day for the same rate. Just 30 cents for the first 10 minutes of your call. Now that's not like any other offer. Any takers? Just say the word. Yes.
We started playing cricket, and I hit the ball so high that Uncle Mark, he forgot where he was going. He tried to catch the ball and landed face first in the mud. It was so funny, Dad. You should have been there.
In Western Australia, our carpets touch you. Come to Western Australia and be touched by nature. Fly Qantas from Adelaide to Perth and enjoy 3 nights accommodation from $559 per person. See your travel agent or call Qantas Holidays on 13 14 15.
It is our sworn duty to defeat tyranny. Are you with me? Are you with me?
Looking for extras? Then try McDonald's McValue Meal $1 Extras. It's value with extras.
After all these years, men and women alike still holler his name. What is it that makes Marshall so irresistible? Is it his smile, his hat, or is it his speedy battery delivery and fitting service? 7 days a week, Marshall will deliver and fit a high-quality battery to have you back on the road at surprisingly little cost. So if you need a battery to get you going, just holler for a Marshall. Call 136 130.
Hello? Yeah, look, I want to quit smoking.
Sure, well, you've taken the first step. That's great.
Planning ahead is really important.
And I can send you a quick book if you'd like.
Call Quitline on 131 848. 131 848.
Line.
Peter, Aston really got on top of you last week at the ball. This time there seems to be a real commitment amongst the guys to be harder at it.
Yeah, they've certainly shown that in the first quarter, but then again, we've got to do it again in this quarter.
Graham Johncock, only his 5th game. I mean, it's a big game, but he doesn't seem to be overawed by the situation.
No, he certainly has adapted to the conditions well, and, you know, basically he's given us something up forward, which is terrific.
Treadray was really potent last week, 6 goals against the Blues. Smart seems to be doing a great job.
Well, at this stage, he's doing a great job. Let's see how the other 3 quarters go.
Good luck, thanks.
Thanks, Tiffany. That's Tiffany Cherry with the assistant coach for Adelaide, Peter Curran.
So it is the Crows by 19 points at the opening change. A little bit for Port Adelaide to work into this game here.
Well, it's predictable, isn't it? I mean, the Crows are great starters. The Port Adelaide aren't traditionally great starters, but they do come home well. We are set up for a crackerjack game.
So here we go. Second quarter of Showdown 11. The Crows by 19 points. French continues in the ruck for Port Adelaide. He goes against Biglands. French got the tap. It's Adelaide onto the ball first through Doughty to Bickley. Advantage will be paid to the Crows. The ball will come back because there was no advantage. It'll come back to Doughty. It was unceremoniously disposed of after he got rid of the football. So the Crows want to break off half-back. Smart runs forward, Perry runs forward, Hart runs forward. There's not one player now behind Michael Doughty. Handball's off to Bassett. He kicks towards half-forward. Burton's his target, can only get one hand to it. Hence, he was never a chance to mark. James grabs it, he's wrapped up, will have a bounce.
Interesting ploy by the Crows defensive players in to run down. A lot of talk about Port Adelaide's forwards not holding their ground and Port Adelaide flooding and that being counterproductive to their game of footy. The Crows really paying attention tonight to their backmen running down and pushing down and opening up Port Adelaide's forward line and dragging their forwards out of position.
So about 60 metres out from goal. Adelaide in attack. It's Hardwick. Emerges for Port Adelaide to James. Hand off to Nick Stevens. Back to Hardwick, back to Stevens, and they'd want to run it out. A kick wide towards space. The outer side of the ground. Wakeland. He's got two to beat out there. He loses his feet. That lets Goodwin in. Handball to Fitzgerald. He's wrapped up. Pretty hot football at the moment. Stevens to Bickley. Can Adelaide build through the centre? High kick out wide. The mark is taken by Goodwin, coming up for his 7th possession in his 100th game. Spears it inside 50. His target's Burton. It clears him. Johncock on his hands and knees, wrapped up. And we'll have a bounce about 30 metres out from the Adelaide goal. They lead by 19 points. We've gone 2 minutes in the second term.
The Crows crowd are praying for a free kick to Graham Johncock on that occasion, but this time, not forthcoming.
So it'll be Biglands against French. They stand shoulder to shoulder. Neither an effective tap. It's built to Stevens for Port Adelaide. Searching kick around the outer wing. Perry got hands to it, fisted to the line for a throw in.
Done well, Perry.
Done extremely well. Got the tough job on Chad Corns, who's been tremendous this year for the Power. Sticks to his task very well, plays it defensively, gets the ball to the boundary line. It's nullified Corns very well so far.
37-18, Adelaide in front. Early stages, second quarter. Big showdown game, this one. Umpire thought about playing the advantage, then thought, no, I won't. Adelaide's free kick, Rhett Biglands. Sting line there in shot as well. Here's Rhett's kick. It's a ground cover. Almost inside 50. Here's Rashudo looking to feed off and does. Couple of hand passes. Burton thought about the hand pass, decides to go his own way. And it closes the deal. Big start Adelaide second quarter.
Exactly the start they were looking for, and fantastic work by Mark Rashudo. Just knew the correct spot to be in front and square, as they say, as the ball came into Fitzgerald, who did the right thing by bringing it forward. He had the vision, Rashudo, to get the ball out and get it into Burton's hands. He is a dangerous player. If the ball's in the air or ground level, Brett Burton is a very dangerous player. Loves kicking goals and kicking truly on that occasion, getting the Crows off to the start they were looking for. A 4-goal lead. They are away and running.
So Port being asked the question. They trail now by 25 points. In the last showdown, round 18 last year, Adelaide got out to a 37-point lead early in the second term before Port came storming home late in the second quarter. Some moves that day. Treadray went to defence. Primus, who's missing tonight, went to full forward. Mark Williams turned the game. What can he come up with tonight? Hardwick kicks towards half forward. On the bounce, it was Burgoyne. Great hands to Stevens, but he's under pressure. Treadray swoops on it for Port from 48 metres on his left boot, kicks towards the goal square. Montgomery a chance. Edwards happy to take it to the line for Adelaide.
We heard Gary Ayres say in the pre-match that he wanted his leaders to stand up. It was important that they took over the mantle from McLeod. Well, Port Adelaide need their leaders to stand up at the moment and get them back in the contest.
It's a chance here for Port Adelaide to get one back. Throw in, 15 metres out, it came to Franco. Rashudo got it to Bassett for Adelaide. Puts it out in front of Perry. Coming in to meet it was Corns. His handball was looking for Burgoyne. Rashudo tracks back. He's wrapped up, as is Bassett. And the ball to the line again. It's pretty fierce. It's pretty tight. Great pressure being applied from both sides. Not a lot of time to get rid of the football. We look at the leading stat getters for both sides. Kane Johnson's had 9 for Adelaide. Nick Stevens 8 for Port. The throw in. Treadray got it down. Only as far as Rashudo. We'll have yet another bounce. Adelaide will be happy to be keeping it tight because they are winning the clearances.
They certainly would be, but these are areas where Port Adelaide are dangerous. I mean, the Josh Francos, the Wanganines in this environment, within a kick from goal, can be extremely dangerous.
It's 40 metres out from the Port goal. Treadray went up. The tap was sharked by Adelaide, and Rashudo got it to Bickley. Around the outer wing, Montgomery stands tall. Kept his eyes on the ball and took a good mark, one out against Burton. So Brett Montgomery averaging 17 possessions and 7 marks a game in 2002. The kick just came off the instep of his boot. Lets Adelaide in with a chance. Corns is in there to wrap it up. Sven Grind going nowhere, and we'll have a bounce.
So Hardwick's coming off from Stevens. Michael Stevens coming on for Port Adelaide. There's Hardwick going to the bench, and Michael Stevens on for the Power. 43-18. It has been a good start for Adelaide. It was so important for them. That was former skipper to skipper. Rashuto now toward left half forward. Bouncing past most. Mead. Good pressure from Welsh. Forced the error and gained about 25 metres in the process and over the line. Perfect. 43-18.
Scotty Welsh been tremendous tonight. Hasn't got on the scoreboard yet. Kicked it behind, but not a goal. But his work rate inside 50 to hold the ball in the area, to tackle and harass, has been a real feature of his game this year.
9 goals so far. 4 against Geelong. Higglins. Schofield, close to the boundary line. He had a lot of options. He'd be pretty pleased with that result as well. Jared Schofield, who loves kicking the running goal.
He certainly does. It's a tough style of game the Crows are playing at the moment. Very physical, very taxing on the body. It'll be very interesting to see if they can last the whole game.
So a ruck contest. Biglands works his way to the front. Ground level, Adelaide with the numbers through Rashuto. Tried to get it to the line. It's picked up by James. He pumps Port forward. Going back with the flight was Perry to take a well-judged and courageous mark. So Ian Perry, chip short to Johnson. Kane Johnson coming up for his 11th possession. Having a fantastic year. He's averaging 27 per game. Long kick towards half forward. Big pack flies. French stood tall. Almost took the mark. Schofield to Franco. He's run down by Burton. Holding the ball.
Gone.
And Adelaide a chance to launch from left half forward. There's a bit of feeling between Stevens and Bickley. Adelaide with their tails up. They lead by 25 points. 8 minutes gone in this second term. Burton will go inside 50 for the Crows. Big numbers up. Some heavy collisions there. And Barnaby French, a little the worse for wear there. He was crunched in that marking contest. The umpire just having a word to Fitzgerald. And Barnaby French will take the relieving free kick at the defensive 45 for Port. Dishes it off to the run of Kingsley. They've sold themselves in a bit of trouble. They've got no room on that outer side. It comes back to French, and he decides to kick it this time. He goes long. Cockatoo Collins with 2 to beat. Spills to ground level. Again, numbers with Adelaide. Bickley, sweeping handball to Bassett on the overlap. Can they build from here? The kick inside 50. Taken by Stevens on the bounce from 45 metres out. Left foot shot at goal. Misses to the left-hand side. Through for 1 behind. So Mark Stevens 1-1 for the evening. And Adelaide moved to 7-2-44. Port a 3 straight 18. The margin now 26 points. We've gone 9 minutes in the second term at Footy Park.
Bishop. Southern end of Football Park. Good kick to centre half back. James wrapped up. Umpire to bounce. Just in the centre square here at Footy Park.
Need a spark, Port, don't they? Like on ball, there's just nothing happening for them. They look a little bit flat. They're not running over lines. They're very slow in moving the ball on. This is where they get bogged down. We've seen it happen to them when they lost the games earlier this year. They need to break this game open.
7-2 post 3 goals. Adelaide in front. Keen to redeem themselves against Port Adelaide. Haven't won one of these for, well, the last 3 Port Adelaide have dominated. Inside 50 now. Treadray, very clever. Hand pass, Cockatoo Collins only had a couple of kicks. This time he decides to hand pass over the top, and they'll get a goal through Wanganeen. And Port Adelaide get their 4th.
Strathfield's huge catalogue sale is on now with 6 months interest-free. Sony 180-watt car city tuner with Explode power plus a bonus set of 120-watt 6x9-inch speakers. Hot deal $249. Get surround sound for the home now. 5 speakers and active sub only $129. 68cm colour TVs, hot price $579. Still the best price DVD players, only $189. Cordless phones from $79. And 700 meg writable discs, only 49 cents. Strathfield catalogue sale on now. Call 1311 77.
So Port Adelaide back within 20 points. Badly needed goal, that one. They're right in this contest again. 10.5 minutes gone in the second term. Laid into the ruck for Port Adelaide. Won the tap. Again, first hand seemed to be coming from the Crows. This time it's Doughty with the effective disposal towards half forward. It's a high kick. Rashudo back with the flight of it. Ball bounces inside 50, taken by Fitzgerald. He's wrapped up by Bishop. We'll have a bounce right on 50 for the Adelaide Crows.
They're certainly more dominant at the clearances, aren't they? They look good in the centre square. They're hunting the footy at ground level. First of the contest. There's a very hungry Adelaide footy club tonight.
Ruck clearance is 18-13 in favour of the Crows. Goodwin crashes through. Gets onto his favoured left boot. A high kick towards the forward pocket. Chance here for James for Port Adelaide. He's got 3 to beat. He's got a man in support. It's Kingsley, but he goes to ground. Now they've got problems. It's picked up by Johncock from an impossible angle. It was exactly that, impossible. Kicked it across the face of goal and out of bounds on the full.
Oh, but you've got to let him go, don't you? You've got to love the spirit and just the confidence for him to have a crack at the goals from there. A tough shot in anyone's book, but why not?
So Port to clear from the back pocket. Short kick towards James. It was too short. It didn't go the full 15, said the umpire. He'll come in and bounce it right on the boundary line. Mark Bickley applying the tackle on Roger James, and he wasn't breaking that grip. The Crows by 20 points. Laid into the ruck, as we mentioned. Tried to palm it to the line. The Crows keep it alive, momentarily at least. It's gone out of bounds on the full. Adam Kingsley will get the resultant free kick right against the behind post.
It's just too easy for him in the contest at the moment. The Crows dominating the clearances.
Kingsley switches play to the member's pocket. Finds Brett Montgomery coming up for his 4th possession. Brings it out towards half-back. Hard running lead offered by Stevens. Cockatoo Collins went past it. It came to Massey, his man. Handball missed the target, was looking for Stend line. Time to pick it up. Doughty to Massey. Will go inside 50. Pack will fly. Burton tried to work his man under the ball. Fitzgerald tries to keep it alive and does so momentarily. Cockatoo Collins happy to see it to the line. As the Crows prepare to make a change, Biglands comes to the bench to be relieved by Ben Marsh, who comes on for his first run in 2002.
We've been very good, Biglands to a well-earned rest.
So big moment for Marsh. 7-2 plays 4 goals in the attacking zone for Adelaide. Bickley runs on left foot, snap, and he's kicked a goal! He has missed. Just missed.
Just missed, but very lazy from Port Adelaide. Did not cover the back of the pack. The Crows, as we said, are dominating the clearances, and no Port Adelaide player on the defensive side there. They were very lucky to get away with that.
With the inside of the post from Bickley, Nick Stevens goes straight up the middle. Good, strong lead offered by Darren Mead. Stood tall and took that mark. Trying to give some leadership from centre-half back. Handball off to Burgoyne. He had Roger James running for him in space. Has got Guerra inside the 50 if he can move it on quickly. Bassett tries to hold him up. Does a fantastic job of it. James goes back and has to beat Bassett again. Bassett now dives on top of it, wraps it up. And Adelaide fans on the outer side going Peresk, screaming for a free kick, pleading, begging, demanding one.
Well, I don't think you want to make bad umpiring decisions over that part of the ground, and very, very unlucky on that occasion.
So good disciplined play on the mark from Nathan Bassett. And an opportunity goes begging for Port Adelaide. They trail by 21 points, 14.25 minutes gone in this second term. Lade got it down to Carr. Tries to emerge from the congestion. A good tackle from Johnson wrapped him up. Rashudo fumbled. James pounces on him. We'll have another bounce. The pressure in the packs tonight has been intense.
Certainly has, and that's where Josh Carr does his best work tonight, given the job early on Kane Johnson. Kane Johnson now with 11 disposals, just getting the upper hand.
Big pack of players around this football. Lade will go in the ruck against Marsh. Give it to Lade. He got it down to Burgoyne. Tried to farm it out in the Schofield James direction. Schofield gathers. Sells the dummy around the flying acrobatic Scott Welsh. Came to Bishop. He kicks inside 50. Smart work to the front for Adelaide. Massey tried to tap it on. There's Perry at ground level. Crashing through was Goodwin. Kick towards half forward. Johncock met it on the bounce. In fact, it was Stevens. He's ridden into the ground by Mead. And Adelaide have the free kick just forward to the centre circle.
I'll tell you what, Massey's done some good things. Wide, now to Hart, about 85, 90 metres from goal, measures the kick beautifully. Good mark by Wakeland. The target was Fitzgerald. Wakeland takes it. Short pass. Now Burgoyne, wider, very wide. Cockatoo Collins, third kick along the boundary line. It's rolling, it stays in play. 4 or 5 come at it. Corns. 17 to 16, the marks in favour of Adelaide. Corns' kick just misses the mark. It came up a bit short. Tyson Edwards along the boundary line. Good footy, didn't panic. Massey's having a very good game, Chris.
Certainly is, Mark, getting his hands on the footy and not keeping Cockatoo Collins out of the contest.
Yes, and he's done a couple of very clever one-percenters. Short passes okay to Rashudo. 45-24. Deep into the second quarter. So Rashudo looking for options. Just measures it again. Goodwin gets onto his trusty left foot and sends it to a loose man in the middle, and it's Perry, who's also having a very good game. He's in the middle of Football Park, and Adelaide looking menacing once again. Long bomb, well inside the 50, 4 or 5 up, no mark. Bishop, tackled, brought to the ground by Fitzgerald. He's going nowhere. The umpire comes over, he will bounce. 45 plays, 24. And Polton getting ready to come on for Port.
Telling statistic is the inside 50s. 20-11 in favour of the Adelaide Crows. That shows on the scoreboard at the moment, almost double the score. James from the ruck contest, but a free kick. The umpire just motioned towards Adelaide for a moment there. Thought Adelaide fans were outraged momentarily. It's coming back and it's going to their ruckman, Brendan Lade. Wants to kick long towards the outer wing. Treadrade's his target. Stands tall in front of Smart and takes the mark. His 4th possession for the evening as we head boundary side. Tiffany Cherry.
Yeah, Brett Biglands, who's just come off and didn't train on Thursday with the main group because he was a little bit sore, just getting some work done on his quad and his groin as he takes a rest.
Stevens to half forward. The mark taken by Guerra. Too far out to score. Will thump it long towards the goal square. Corns will fly from behind. Oh! Take an amazing mark! But give away a free kick in the process. Over the shoulder against Chad Corns. The free kick to Perry, and Adelaide dodge a bullet. Edwards, sweeping handball to Bickley. They work it round the outer side. Takes it up the corridor, and the mark is taken by Stenglein.
You know, if they play that mark, it's probably the best mark of the year.
So Stenglein towards half forward. Rashudo, one out in a contest there with James, who really has been fierce at the body tonight. Mark Rashudo, just 5 possessions as we look at the Corns mark on replay. An amazing grab, it really was.
Well, I don't know. I think if he holds it, maybe they pay the mark. Bit stiff, Chad.
45-24. Adelaide in front. But there's not a great deal in it. Goodwin tries to knock it over the pack, can't do so. Out wide, Massey clears a path, and he did well. And Johnson goes short. And all of a sudden, Adelaide about to storm into attack. Down his kick of beauty. And the mark is taken by Rashudo. We've got just over 6 minutes to go. Or just under 6 minutes to go until half-time. And Rashudo takes a big grab on his chest. He's about 75 metres from goal. Long kick. They'll contest 20 metres from goal. In the end, no contest. Drop mark, though. Burgoyne. Back to Burgoyne. Wakeland was the Port player who dropped the mark. And they may get out of this. And now Montgomery. So around about 5 minutes to go until half-time in the showdown. Montgomery switching. Wakeland. Pretty well straight down the middle. And the power out of trouble. Down to Walker wing. Rashudo in front. Trying to hold it up. They're trying to hold him up. And the umpire is going to bounce on the wing on this western side.
Working himself pretty well into the game, Mark Rashudo, very quiet early, but a much better player in this second quarter.
Adelaide by 21 points. They're playing a pretty open forward line in the second term, have Port Adelaide. When the ball was up the ground then, there was basically Corns one out. If you look at their forward setup across half forward, they're just trying to get something going. Forward to the centre. Marsh got the tap that went straight to Burgoyne. His kick was touched off the boot. Lade taps it over the top, looking for Cockatoo. Collins spins out of the Edwards tackle. 60 metres from goal, goes to that man Corns. It bounces off his hands. He gathers at ground level and puts it through for a goal.
Optus Mobile's new Your Call plans with Yes Anyphone let you catch up with all your friends. Because now you can call anyone on any mobile or home phone, anywhere in Australia, any day for the same rate. Just 30 cents for the first 10 minutes of your call. Now that's not like any other offer. Any takers? Just say the word, yes.
Chad Corns with his first, and Port's fifth. Adelaide 7-3, 45. Port Adelaide 5 goals straight, 30. 15 the difference. Deep into the second quarter, half-time not too far away. Adelaide through Goodwin down ground, but the mark low down to the ground was taken by Bishop. Sending the footy out very wide. Lade had to wait. He had a couple coming at him, and he marks. And Marsh stands the mark. Lade looking for someone in the corridor. Eventually goes inside 50 down toward the flank. Treadray in the thick of it. Bickley as well. Sharp hands. Goodwin. Good kick. A beautiful kick. Fitzgerald swings around. 45-30. Hand passes into the path of Bode, who was spoken to at quarter time by Gary Ayres. He bangs it through for a wonderful goal for Adelaide.
Set for a delicious new twist on a chicken Caesar salad. 2 crispy strips of breast fillet chicken, lettuce, tomato, croutons, parmesan cheese and a Caesar dressing, now served with a twist. Introducing KFC's new Caesar Twister. Just another spin on the twister you love. So try a Caesar Twister today from KFC.
The Crows answer the challenge. They're managing to just keep Port Adelaide at arm's length at the moment. The margin back out to 21 points. They worked that goal beautifully from the middle of the ground. Bode running forward of the football. Finished magnificently. Rashudo tries to crash through the pack. Numbers there for Port Adelaide hold him up. We'll have another bounce.
Big challenge for Benny Marsh tonight. Recalled to the team after some good form at local level here for West Adelaide. It's time for him to make an impact at AFL footy. He has all the attributes, a lot of potential. That potential must now be realised on-field to an on-field performance.
Just over 3 minutes remaining in the second term. Lade and Marsh lock arms. Wanganeen. Franco left it behind. Again, numbers just streaming for Adelaide. Dowdy to Bickley. To Bode. Bode runs to 40 metres out. Measures it. Goes for home and kicks another one off the post. Oh, Matthew Bode gave it a real good ride. Just about knocked the goalpost out of the ground there. And Adelaide looking menacing in the shadows of half-time. The margin out to 22 points. He'll be kicking himself, really. Well, it's probably easier than the first one.
By far, he does not finish on his left side. Had plenty of time to balance.
So Kingsley brings it back in, straight up the middle. Good aggressive kick out. The mark was taken by Burgoyne. Coming up for his 7th possession, will kick long towards the outer side. A couple of marking targets out there. Wakeland and Mead. Mead won it at ground level. Kick towards half forward. Franco runs onto it for Port. Dowdy at ground level wins it, gives it to Stengline. Stengline to Bassett. Here's Bode again, he's having a purple patch. Streams through the middle of the ground. Will kick long inside the 50. They drift back with the flight of it. Off the hands of Stevens. Stevens has got it again. He's 20 metres out and he has it home. Adelaide on fire.
It's a red-hot game out there today. A huge pack of players around the football. Someone's got to get it moving. Now he's in the clear. Watch out. Oh, he's got that very high. A ferocious tackle. Oh!
Golden draft, thanks.
Hey, listen here. May is huge audio sellout month at Truscott Hi-Fi.
Yamaha DVD home theatre pack with 5 ADC speakers and subwoofer, $998 off.
Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
28 points is the lead. to Adelaide. 58 plays 30. 9-4 plays 5 goals. Marsh, second effort, very good. Gained 25 metres. Welsh, hand pass, a good one. Away they go again. This is Bickley. Drives them inside 50. They need a mark. Can't get one this time. Kane Corns crashes through, gets caught. And the umpire comes over. Gee, half thought about holding the ball, but he said, I'll bounce. And Kane breathes a sigh of relief.
Once again, boys, the Crows at ground level are just so superior. Their skills are beautiful. As Bickley comes off, Johnson comes on. They are annihilating Port Adelaide at the contests.
Umpire tosses it up inside 50. Bode again. Gets it. Oh, now the umpire says it was a throw, so Bode pretty quick there with the hands. And Port Adelaide to clear out of the back pocket. They're under the pump at the moment, the power defence. Adelaide irresistible in the last 5 minutes. Corns, it's Kane Corns to Bishop. Around the outer side looking for Wakeland. Fitzgerald tries to keep it alive for Adelaide. It's a 2-on-1 and Fitzgerald did very well to hold it in. That's the sort of discipline and pressure we've seen all night. Absolutely, that's the beauty of this footy club this year. The forward pressure, we've spoken about it on many occasions tonight with Scotty Welsh, Ryan Fitzgerald, another one. Their tackling and their ability and desperation to keep the ball inside 50 is outstanding. Marsh won the tap. Congested players. Marsh will go again. Big donut fend off to Burgoyne. The smother came from Franco. Off the boot of Johnson. Will have a throw in. And again, Mark Williams must be worried. His on-ballers just cannot get their hands first on the footy. So a throw in. Adelaide in attack yet again. Marsh tried to put it into the path of Goodwin. Socket off the ground by Rashudo, but it ricocheted to Bishop for Port. Into open space. Treadray and Smart attack it. Spills to Nick Stevens. His handball didn't have enough on it. Edwards. Back to Smart. The tackle came from Treadray and Smart finds the line. She's a hot footy, and that's when the Crows have been fantastic this year with their tackling, their harassing, their ability to put the opposition teams under pressure. When they get a sniff of victory, they're tough to beat. They lead by 28 points. Moments before half-time, Bode towards centre-half forward. Montgomery kept his eyes on the ball. Has worked Burton out of the contest. Dishes off to Mead. At 30 seconds left on the clock. Port need to move it quickly. Chad Corns to the run of Wanganeen. Inside 50, they need a mark. Over the back it comes. They get the mark they were so desperately needing. And it is young Kane Corns. I think it may be Jared Polton actually who's pushed forward. My apologies. I mean, an unlikely target up forward, more known as a defender, just doing the right thing, holding his feet and catching the ball beautifully. And what an important goal this is. A couple of minutes ago, Port Adelaide were back in the contest. The Crows had blown it open, and this is a big kick. He's kicked just 9 goals, 6 in his 38-game career. The margin stands at 28 points. Polton from 35 metres out, right on the half-time siren, kicks for goal. He likes it. Port Adelaide get one back. Some important goal there to Port. They'll at least go to half-time with a little bit of passion, a little bit of vibe. It's back to 22 points. It's a manageable margin now. They needed it, though. They were dead in the water. The Crows were steamrolling after Port had done some work to get themselves back in the contest. That was a critical goal, though. As you said, they go in with some momentum and some hope, but the Crows are flying and they need some work from their on-ballers in the second half to get themselves back in the contest. 19 at quarter time. It's now 22 at half-time. Adelaide leads, showdown 11.
Eviction number 2 is approaching. Katrina really wants to stay.
Will she go?
Turkan's found a new soulmate.
Will they part?
Alex is a first-time nominee.
Is he next?
You decide who's about to join Damien on the outside. Big Brother Eviction, 7:30 Sunday. Then 7:30 Monday.
Marty. Pete.
Jess.
They're becoming more open about their feelings towards each other. So who are they nominating next? And why? Live nominations, 7:30 Monday.
We started playing cricket, and I hit the ball so high that Uncle Mark, he forgot where he was going. He tried to catch the ball and landed face first in the mud. It was so funny, Dad. You should have been there.
Solid timber table and chairs, $12.99. Look on you.
Combine your home and car insurance with SGIC and we'll reward you with a discount.
Sensational dining package, 5 pieces. Look on you.
Come on, let's twist again.
Get set for a delicious new twist on a chicken Caesar salad. 2 crispy strips of breast fillet chicken, lettuce, tomato, croutons, parmesan cheese and a Caesar dressing, now served with a twist. Introducing KFC's new Caesar Twister. Just another spin on the twister you love. So try a Caesar Twister today from KFC.
At Kmart AFL headquarters, this replica AFL game ball is just $24.99 each.
And this adult half-zip polar fleece top is only $29.99. Save 10.
Until Sunday.
Kmart is the home of low prices.
7-piece dining, save $614. Look on you.
Hello? Yeah, look, I want to quit smoking.
Sure, well, you've taken the first step. That's great.
Planning ahead is really important.
And I can send you a quick book if you'd like.
Call Quitline on 131 848. 131 848.
Half-time here at Football Park, and it is the Adelaide Crows leading by 22 points, 9-4-58. Port Adelaide 6 straight goals, 2 goals each to John Cox, Stevens and Burton for the Crows. Wanganeen, Port Adelaide's only multiple goal scorer. Well, it's been tough, it's been physical, and Adelaide will be pretty happy with that 22-point lead. In fact, the whole city of Adelaide's been pretty happy this week with the Adelaide 36ers claiming their 3rd NBL title in 5 seasons. Joining me now is a very special guest, a man who's watching his first game of AFL football this evening, as we see the Adelaide 36ers coach Phil Smythe declaring his allegiances in the cavalcade they had before the game to pay tribute to the 36ers. And joining me now is Matt Garrison from the Adelaide 36ers. Matt, your first game of AFL footy, pretty exciting.
Yes, it is. The atmosphere out there is unbelievable. Brett Maher told me before we went out, he said, if this doesn't stand the hairs on the back of your neck up, nothing will, and it sure has.
And you were very well received before the game in the motorcade. That must have been fantastic.
Yeah, it was
You're
great.
new to Adelaide. This is your first season here.
Yeah, it's been great just to see the Adelaide fans just support sports. I mean, it's just a, you know, they talk about Melbourne being a sporting community. I just think it's, you know, this is comparable as one of the best I've seen in Australia. 2 titles in 2 years for you. You were at Wollongong last year, won a title there. You've come to Adelaide. You must have the magic touch. It's been a humbling couple of years. I mean, to be on good teams like that has been an honor, and just to be around the quality of guys and the elite athletes you have here in Australia has just been great.
Now, the build-up to this game here tonight has been huge all week. I guess you've come along not really certain of what to expect, but we saw some fantastic highlights in the first half.
Yeah.
What is it about the game that tickles your fancy?
I think just the atmosphere. I mean, it's kind of comparable to a Titans game that, you know, we have our rivals in basketball as well, and the atmosphere definitely is rivaling anything I've seen in Australia. Just to come out and hear the fans go off at every mark, every kick, every pass, catch, everything. It's been great.
What in particular impresses you about our guys? I know in the United States they always talk about the fact that these guys are crazy. They play with no padding.
I'm just really impressed with the fitness of the guys. I mean, they're all, you know, big, strong guys, some of the best athletes in Australia, and I'm just impressed that each guy can kick, you know, pass, handle the ball, do everything, you know. And you compare that to the NFL, you know, you've got big guys who only do one thing. Out here, each guy is capable of hurting you throughout the game.
Now, the all-important question, who are you barracking for tonight? Are you with the Adelaide Crows or are you on the Port Power side?
I'm going to have to go for the Crows tonight. We had a pre-game scrimmage with them, kind of a charity match game earlier in the season, and so got to mix and mingle with some of those guys, and they're good fellas. I hope they do well tonight. They're doing well so far.
What's the breakdown in the team amongst the Adelaide 36ers? So they lean more towards the Crows or more towards the...
Yeah, we've got a lot of Crows supporters. Just they had a Crows fella play on the team a couple years back, and so they just have a lot of ties that way.
Well, your team, the team you've been rooting for all night, they lead by 22 points at half-time, the Adelaide Crows. Thanks for your time, Matt. Enjoy the second half. We'll be back with more action right here at Football Park.
Cascade Premium Light. Pure premium taste.
Hey, listen here. May is huge audio sellout month at Truscott Hi-Fi.
Yamaha DVD home theatre pack with 5 ADC speakers and subwoofer, $998 off.
Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
The Bora V5. Surprisingly quick. The Bora V6. Not surprisingly quicker.
Him to Her, a tribute to women of all ages. 16 inspirational songs with John Lennon and Aretha Franklin. If you want to feel like a woman, you want Him to Her.
If you need to perform some home improvement magic, jump into Bunnings Warehouse. We have the biggest range at the lowest prices every day. Gutter guard, only $1.99 per roll. Motion sensor light, $15.95. Hammer drill, a bargain at $39.97. Clothes error, great value at $8.98. And this plastic bucket, just 85 cents. We won't be beaten on price. And that's guaranteed.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
If you found a house and lost your heart, you'll love a Bank SA home loan. Because with Bank SA, you can have pre-approval, a low rate, and a fee-free bank account, all from the bank that's helped more South Australians own a home than any other lender. Call Bank SA on 13 13 76 and ask about a home loan.
Rockers, big brands, top quality and the lowest prices. Check out these goal-kicking specials.
5 litres Penrite HPR 50 motor oil with bonus funnel, fantastic value, $27.95. Save $10 on luxury sheepskin seat covers reduced to $29.95 each. Top quality travel rugs from $14.50. 6x4 tarps, low price, $145.
It's 4 points to Rockers for these and other great savings in their latest sale catalogue.
Catalogue in Sunday Mails, TV Plus.
Hey, listen here. May is huge audio sellout month at Truscott Hi-Fi.
Sharp 200-watt 6-disc CD systems, $200 off.
Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
The AFL CUB 2002 Premiership season brought to you by Carlton Draft, official beer of the AFL. Ford, Nintendo GameCube, get into it. Optus, Doors Plus, no fuss. Truscott Hi-Fi, best advice, low price. Discount City Carpet Superstores, your one-stop floor covering shop. And Booze Brothers.
Half-time at Football Park. Adelaide lead it by 22 points. There's a bit of work to do for Port Adelaide, but they are still well and truly in this game. Joining me now is their defender, Stephen Paxman. Stephen, you've been in the coach's box in the first half. What would Mark Williams be saying to the boys right now?
Oh, he'd just be looking for a bit of a lift of intensity around the ball, you know, just to move the ball a bit quicker through the midfield so we can get it in our forwards and, you know, score a few more goals.
He's a pretty composed character, isn't he, Mark Williams? So he wouldn't be going off his tree so much at the moment. They'd still be pretty much focused on the game plan. It is only 22 points.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, full credit to Adelaide, they've played well. We just need to stick with our game plan and that should get us over the line at the end.
They've been very intense at the football, Adelaide. That's something that Port Adelaide have prided themselves a lot on in recent times. I would imagine they'll come out steaming in this third term.
Yeah, well, absolutely. It's a showdown and, you know, I've played in the last 10 and the intensities, you know, they sell like a mini-final. It's pretty true. So, you know, no surprise from Adelaide that they come out so hard.
Matthew Primus, obviously a big loss before the game. Adelaide doing pretty well around the stoppages at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. That's probably an area that we need to work on. And, you know, it was a big blow losing Matty because, you know, he gets the ball rolling. He's an inspirational leader. But, you know, the guys there, to their credit, you know, they're hanging in there. And I think only time will show that the tide will change.
And Barnaby French also supported by Brendan Lade in the ruck. Great to have his experience go onto the ball and just almost stemmed the tide a little bit there in that second term.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for someone like Lady who's missed a lot of footy, just, you know, every day that he gets out there is a bonus, and he's slowly working himself back into good form, and, you know, hopefully as the weeks go on, he'll get better and better.
Fantastic crowd here at Football Park. You must be itching to get back out there.
Yeah, I'm very, the biggest itch you could probably find to scratch is with me right now.
The build-up to this game, obviously absolutely monstrous. Adelaide came out firing, but at the same time, you guys would stay committed to your task at hand.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, always a big week in Adelaide, showdown week, but, you know, it's one game out of 22 that we need to look at, and, you know, as I said before, we need to stick to our style of play and game plan, and it should get us there.
Well, best of luck for the second half. 22 points is the margin, and we'll let you get back to the Port Adelaide coaches box.
Thanks very much.
Stephen Paxman there. We'll be back with all the second half action after the break. It is Adelaide by 22 points. It's a full moon here at Footy Park for Showdown 11.
A hate crime is just the beginning.
Who shot you, Wesley?
Nothing about this case is what it seems.
You took your daughter to a porn set.
And the harder they dig, the bigger the mystery.
You don't understand what you're doing.
All new SVU, 9:30 Monday.
Optus Mobile's new Your Call plans with Yes Any Phone let you catch up with all your friends. Because now you can call anyone on any mobile or home phone, anywhere in Australia, any day for the same rate. Just 30 cents for the first 10 minutes of your call. Now that's not like any other offer. Any takers? Just say the word, yes.
It was actually my father that gave me the idea and said, why don't you join the Navy? Well, I'm responsible for the daily operations and maintenance of a multi-million-dollar radar system and equipment, which is a pretty responsible job for a guy my age. We work hard, but when that ship pulls into a place like Thailand, which is an amazing place, you're free to do what you want. You know, there's not many jobs in this world that you can actually go to work for a week and then step foot out the door and you'd be in another country.
Seven-piece dining, save $614. Look on you.
Well, the other day we sent young Nipper downtown for some hardware. And I thought, Nipper, don't muck around and waste money. Well, he comes back with a set of 4 Boulevard canisters for just $29.95 and a Delterra doormat for $19.95. He even got a Philips Energy Saver Globe for $9.95 at the homemaker sale at Home Hardware. I said, you're learning, Nipper. You're learning.
Home Hardware.
Homemaker Dog-a-Log, out now.
Dinner is served. Seven-piece dining, $4.99. Look on you.
Totally Footy and Adidas are giving you a fantastic opportunity to interview your favourite AFL star. All you have to do is get into your nearest Sports Power store and purchase a pair of Adidas Junior shoes. Then join the Totally Footy Kids Club.
I am your king, and I am offering you safe passage. Do you hear me?
I'm sorry, sir, but there's no one else up here.
Looking for extras? Then try McDonald's McValue Meal $1 extras. It's value with extras.
Luxury fossil stone, only $11.99. Look on you.
The qualifications and the on-the-job training you get in the Navy are of a high standard. I joined to better myself, better my future, and I'm glad I did it.
Rogue dropped a bombshell.
Please welcome Mirabai's boyfriend.
The Big Brother love triangle up close. And this week,
Evictee number 2.
plus soap star Ron Moss, Guy Pearce and Shakira. Rogue Live, 9:30 Tuesday.
Half-time at Football Park in Showdown 11. It's the Adelaide Crows, 9-4-58. Leading Port 6 straight goals. Was 19 points at quarter time, 22 points at the main break, courtesy of a goal after the siren to Jared Polton for Port Adelaide, just bringing that margin back to a manageable 22 points. There's another game of round 5 action on this evening. It's at Colonial Stadium in Melbourne. It's St Kilda versus Sydney. If you don't want to know the scores, look away now. So 22 points, Adelaide Crows leading. Chris McDermott, what have they got to do to get back into the game, Port Adelaide?
Well, they've certainly got some work to do, boys. Their midfield was very, very ordinary. Thrashed at the clearances, thrashed at the when the ball hit ground level. Thought the Crows had some notes before the game. They had to start well. They did that. Their forward line had to put their opposition under pressure. They've done that. The midfield of the Crows was very ordinary against Essendon. It's been on top tonight. and their turnovers killed them last week. They haven't turned the footy over. They've been the hunters tonight. They've got the first footy. They've got first use of it, got far more of it than Port Adelaide, and they've certainly got the lead at the moment. Port Adelaide need to catch them. They need some leadership, boys. How much have they missed Matty Primus? I guess we'll never know, but they seem directionless at the moment. They need their leadership group to stand up and get hold of the footy.
Let's head down to the boundary line. Here's Tiffany Cherry.
I'll tell you what, it's pretty cold down here, and a fair bit of dew has actually gathered on the ground. I noticed a number of the players, as I walked off, did have their moulded boots on. If they haven't changed the screw-ins, you might see quite a few of them slipping over. On it for Adelaide, medically, Brett Biglands, as I said before, was getting a little bit of treatment to his right groin. And also Kane Johnson, who was quite potent, had 12 possessions, came off just near the end of the second quarter with what appeared to be a little bit of a left hamstring niggle. So his potency may be nullified a little bit in the second half.
Leading stat getters for both sides for the Crows. Simon Goodwin, 14 possessions to half-time, 12 to Johnson and Bickley, 10 each to Stevens, Stenglein and Doughty. For Port Adelaide, Nick Stevens has had 11, Peter Burgoyne 10, Jared Schofield and Matthew Bishop 9 apiece.
Yeah, some word around town during the week was that the Crows did go into this game with a couple of blokes with some injuries, like Doughty, Bickley, Biglands was another one. They're all little suspect groins, so it'll be interesting to see if they can get through the game. And as we said during the call, they are playing a very high-intensity game, hard tackling, hard running. Will they run out of gas? Will Port Adelaide steam over the top of them in the second half?
Bode on the boundary, Chris, but he had just a nice little purple patch in that second quarter, didn't he?
Yeah, look, his fresh legs were very important, gave him a spark when you thought Port Adelaide were getting back into the contest. He was a critical player in the last 5 minutes, getting a goal, giving one away, and you know, his fresh legs will be important as this game goes on.
Interesting statistic, Port Adelaide have actually had 31 possessions to 20 inside their forward 50. But Adelaide just been much more efficient up forward.
Yeah, they certainly have. You know, Treadray hasn't really got himself into the game at all. Nigel Smart's done a tremendous job on him, holding him to 4 possessions. Kane Corns has been reasonable up there without being outstanding. Wanganeen's kicked a couple of goals, hasn't had a major influence.
And John Cock in the goal square for Adelaide. Wanganeen is man.
Yeah, well, not a bad move. I mean, John Cock was tremendous in the first quarter with the 2 marks and 2 goals. Gavin Wanganeen will not give him a sniff. But again, you rob Peter to pay Paul. No Wanganeen up forward, and Wanganeen was potentially a 4-5 goal kicker.
So Port Adelaide are a side who can get on a roll and score goals quickly. They trail by 22 points. You see a bit of push and shove on the wing there on screen. Stevens and Stenglein. Tipping Mark Williams would have had it to say at half-time. You expect Port to come out firing in this third term. French against Biglands. Kingsley got hands on it but couldn't dispose of it. Montgomery only as far as Doughty. Emerges through the pack, kicks towards half forward. Mead works back towards the football. Wakeland crashes through. Welsh almost had it. Was just pinched out of his grasp by Bishop. Pack of players piling on top of it. Will have a bounce about 40 metres out from the Adelaide goal.
Yes, and again, when the loose ball was there to be won, the Crows were the first at the contest, getting the first clearance.
All-important first goal in this third term. The margin is 22 points. From the ruck contest, Goodwin. Handball only as far as Franco. Had it and lost it. Prosciutto. Gang tackle. And yet another bounce. Adelaide have managed to keep it pretty tight and fierce in close tonight. It suited their style of play.
Absolutely, and they've really put the Port Adelaide midfielders, Josh Franco, who we saw there, fumbling the ball uncharacteristically. They haven't handled the ball at all well tonight, Port.
So yet another bounce. Biglands timed his lead beautifully, got it to Goodwin, to Johnson. He releases Welsh, who runs to 15 metres out directly in front. He's trying to tell the goal umpire it was a goal, and he agrees. So the goal umpire moved a long, long way to his left. Bit of theatre there from him, and that all-important first goal goes to Scotty Welsh in the Adelaide Crows. It's his first for the evening. And the margin now out to a dangerous 28 points.
Yes, not the start Port Adelaide were looking for. Great start of the Crows, and again, their ability to get their hands first on the ball. Their reflex give has been very good tonight. Scotty Welsh working extremely hard, as we've said in the first half, with his defensive work, his tackling and his pressure, finally getting rewarded for that hard work and kicking a very, very important goal again. The Crows are running.
They were great from the stoppage then, weren't they? They just released it, and that's what Port Adelaide have been trying to do all night. Adelaide have kept the shackles on them in close.
Absolutely.
We saw it then, and the Crows could bust it open. They did it beautifully. Welsh got on the end of a chain of handballs.
French and Biglands, 64-36, as Jason said. It's dangerous now. It's 28 points. Burton stretching, and again. Second effort, very good. Third effort, just as good. Held up this time. He's going nowhere, except on his backside. And the umpire to bounce, attacking side of centre, but only just for Port Adelaide. It's 10-4. Adelaide. Port Adelaide 6 straight goals, 64-36. And that lead, early stages, third quarter, is 28 points. Umpire bouncing in the middle of Football Park. Oh, over the shoulder. Over the shoulder. Brett Montgomery will take the free kick. He's taking a while to get up, Chris.
He's just got it around the head, and there's a bit of claret coming from the forehead, so he won't stay on too long.
Yeah, well, in fact, he's coming straight off. Gee, look at that. That is quite nasty. So Brett Montgomery heads straight to the boundary. Let's have another look at this. Looks as though it's Simon Goodwin's knee, perhaps. And Brett Montgomery possibly to receive some, oh, you'd think he'd receive some stitches for that, that's for sure, and he knows what's going on. That hurt. And he's been rewarded. So Port Adelaide into attack, well into attack. 2 or 3 up, no mark. Chance for them to score a goal. Round the corner goes Corns, and Corns has kicked a goal.
Great work again to Chad Corns, and for once Port Adelaide getting first touch of the footy off a contest. Getting front and square again. Chad Corns has had a pretty reasonable first half. Looked dangerous. The ball hitting the goal square. But Ford's able to bring the ball front and square. Burgoyne very dangerous around goals. A quick reflex give. And Chad Corns really developed into a goal kicker.
Set boundary side, here's Tiffany Cherry.
Yeah, Brett Montgomery just taken off there. It was quite a huge cut, and he has certainly been taken down to collect some stitches to his head.
So margin back to 22 points. We saw just how one-sided the crowd is in Adelaide's favour there. I reckon it has to be 85-15 at the moment if you have to split percentages. It was like an away team when they kicked that goal, Port Adelaide. Prosciutto to Bickley. Looks for Johnson. Quick hands, the give and get to Perry. He's got 2 men in space on this member's wing. One of them's Burton. He takes the mark. Goes towards the 50. Again, it's a 2-on-1 in Adelaide's favour. They win it at ground level through Welsh. He dishes to Prosciutto from 48 metres, loads it up, goes for home. But he's just pushed it across the face and through from behind. His first score for the evening, Mark Prosciutto, comes with his 9th possession. And Adelaide just edge further in front.
Important time for Port Adelaide now. They've kicked a goal. They've got to kick some back-to-back goals, get some momentum. Disappointing there. The ball back in the centre square. The Crows far too easily getting the ball away from the centre contest.
So Stevens goes long and high from the kick-in towards the outer side. Ball hits the deck. Bickley head over the football for Adelaide. Just lost the run of it. Picked up by Kingsley. Can Port break off half-back? He goes out looking for Roger James. It was a well-weighted kick. And he takes the mark in front of Edwards. James spears it inside 50 to the lead of Burgoyne. Thought about taking Ben Hart on and thought better of it. Chips it inside the 50. Kingsley, who ran on, was good hard running, and he takes the mark 35 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
It was great hard running at him. Kingsley, 30 possessions last week and best on-ground performance for Port. A little bit quieter tonight, was stitched up by Graham Johncock in the first quarter. Moved into the midfield after half-time, getting some valuable touches, and he does push forward. He can kick a goal, and this is the back-to-back goal Port Adelaide are looking for. He must finish here, bring the margin just that little bit closer.
So Kingsley, 3 straight in 2002. 35 metres out, kick on its way. He likes it. Port Adelaide get another one.
$17 points is the lead to Adelaide. 10-5 to 8 straight from Port Adelaide. Showdown 11. French and Biglands. French on his backside. Biglands keeps his footing, kicks out very wide. Hardwick, the 2-11s, and Doughty. Hardwick, Doughty falls. And Hardwick swings it back out toward the wing. A couple up. Adelaide with the numbers. Welsh caught. Corns showing courage. Umpire comes over, and he'll bounce on the wing. That's on the eastern side. 65-48.
It was great courage there from Chad Corns. Marking contest, ball at ground level, puts his body over it, does the tackle, takes the bump from Bickley. That would have hurt. Looking for a free kick. None forthcoming.
No, and Bishop not too well. There you can see him just in the right-hand corner of screen. And he's hobbling. Really hobbling at the moment. Carr, quick hands. Kingsley kicked the last goal. Hand pass, a very good one. And away goes Schofield. From 75 metres, needs a body. He doesn't get one. He gets one in the form of Hart, but he was looking for a port body. Couldn't find one. He goes out wide to Massey. Still in the defensive area, he's about to switch. So who have they got over on the far side? Well, they've got Edwards there. Now he's going to switch back this side. Hart, Smart's loose. No, he decides to hand pass to Bassett. Back it goes to Hart. They bypass Smart downfield. Good, strong grab by Stevens. 65-48, right on this western wing. Burton offered a lead. That was ignored, and Stevens does go in that general direction. 3 or 4 Crows, 2 or 3 up for Port Adelaide over the line. Wakeland with a double fister. Good work by Wakeland in defence. And Bishop just thinking of coming off. He's hobbling, but he's gone back on. Well, he didn't really come off. Guerra was the man, but in the end, Bishop came over and said, I'm okay.
So throw in, the margin, 17 points in favour of Adelaide. Hardwick emerges, advantage paid to Port. Schofield, they're starting to run the lines. This is what we said they needed to do. There's Kingsley again. Back to Schofield. Things looking better for Port Adelaide. Inside 50, Lade and Burgoyne. 2 out against their opponents. Ball hits the deck. Edwards to Massey. And Adelaide, cool heads in defence. Comes to Ben Hart. He spears it straight up the middle. Can the Crows counter-punch through Stengline? Prosciutto puts it out in front of Goodwin. He runs onto it now. He'll spear it inside 50. The lead's on from Johncock. Got hands to it. It spills to Fitzgerald at the back. He gives it to Stevens. Turns one way and back the other. Then chips it in towards Welsh. Couldn't quite hang on. The ball's at 50 for Adelaide. Numbers there with Port. It was Polton. He kept going. Kicks it out towards the wing. He's got Franco in space. He's got a Paddock. Gathers now. Looks up, assesses his options and kicks it to Treadray, 65 metres from home. It's an open forward line for Port Adelaide. He bombs it high, looking for the height of Lade. Cockatoo Collins across the front, but a very well-judged mark by Chris Massey.
How well's he playing? Massey, out wide. First game for Adelaide. Now Perry from half-back to the wing. That was Doughty, and that man in screen, well, he was hobbling before. He looks okay now. That's Bishop. You can see that he's still not 100%. 65-48. So Matthew Bishop just having a few problems. He's got an ankle problem, but he's still out there. Tough contest. Goodwin. And there'll be a bounce. It's 10-5. Adelaide. Port Adelaide haven't missed yet. They're 8 straight. Biglan's the giant ruckman for Adelaide. Primus not playing, Andrew McLeod not playing, 2 of the most influential players in the competition. At the back, Kingsley. Stevens into his bag. And that is pretty blatant. And Kingsley to take the free kick.
Hands off to Stevens, to Hardwick. Port Adelaide looking to run the lines in this third term. Here's Schofield again getting busy. Handball over the top to Polton. He's in space. Off the front edge of the centre square, kicks it high inside 50. This has been their problem all night. And there is a mark taken by Treadray. Well, the delivery inside 50 hasn't been great for the Port Adelaide forwards tonight. Again, Treadray had to make that good.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad kick, though. He kicked it to the open side, let Treadray run onto the footy, got it in the air, and Nigel Smart's done tremendous work on Warren Treadray tonight. Hardly giving him a sniff, but Treadray too good. You can't keep good players down all night. Warren Treadray, his kicking has let him down though this year. He must kick this goal.
So Treadray, 7 goals, 10 for the season. It's a stuttering approach, but he likes it. It's through for a goal.
got 16-inch alloys. So it's mine. Mine's got a factory aluminium tray. Well, mine comes with air conditioning. I bet yours didn't come with over $2,200 worth of extras. No. Mine came with over $3,000 worth of extras.
Series 3 Falcon Tradesman at SE Utes. The deals are unbelievable.
Schofield, 4 possessions this quarter. Kingsley, 4 possessions. Warren Treadray gets his first for the evening. The margin back to 11 points. We've gone 13 minutes in this third term at Football Park.
At one stage it was out to 28, then 22, 16, and now 11. So all of a sudden, Port Adelaide just starting to rev up. And 3 quick goals in a row for Port Adelaide have them right back in this ball game. There's Jared Polden. 11 minutes to go until 3/4 time. Marsh, Bickley scrambles it forward. Goodwin cleverly. Welsh, well done. Goodwin, right foot kick to the goal square, and it's through for a behind. Fitzgerald getting his hand to it. That was pretty exciting if you were a Crows supporter.
Yes, he's been pretty well held though tonight. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but hasn't been able to break free.
So it's Stevens with a kick in for Port Adelaide. Goes straight up the middle. He's been more direct in this third term. Roger James takes the mark. James goes outside 50 to Kingsley. His 5th touch for the quarter. They're streaming forward in numbers up Port. They're being patient. They're not wanting to turn the football over. It comes to Nick Stevens, just backward to centre wing. Towards half forward, Corns is his target. Pinched off his hands by James. Kick inside 50, gets Treadray one out against Smart. Smart, a well-timed fist, takes it to the boundary line.
And again, some important players for Port getting their hands on the footy. Kingsley again, Stevens again.
Look at the inside 50s for the quarter. Port Adelaide dominant after being beaten convincingly in that second term. They're playing a more assured brand of football in this third quarter. Burgoyne wrapped up from the ruck contest. As we've seen so many times this evening, we'll have a secondary stoppage. Momentum just edging Port Adelaide's way. They're not doing it by slamming on 3 goals in 5 minutes, Chris. They're just working their way back into the game and doing it bit by bit.
Yeah, I don't think the game's going to break open. They've got to be workmanlike about their stuff tonight.
Carr went up and got the tap for Port Adelaide on that occasion. Eventually found its way to Johnson. Kicks it over his shoulder towards the wing. Dowdy got it back to Johnson. Dribbles a kick towards Burton. Plucked it out of mid-air. Polton wraps him up. Franco puts his body across the top of the football. And they'll have another bounce. Smack bang centre wing out of sight of the ground. It's the Crows by 2 goals with 9.5 left in this third term.
Hasn't had a great night tonight, Josh Franco. He's a very dangerous player and can still be a match winner, but just not quite getting his handle on the footy and not holding the ball with any confidence at the moment.
Just the 4 possessions so far for Franco, averaging 20 a game in 2002. So plenty of room for improvement there. Burgoyne got first hands on it. Got it out to Kingsley, to Schofield. Throws it over his head. James to run onto it. The same names getting busy now for Port Adelaide. Kingsley, Schofield, James. They're starting to look a lot better.
They certainly are. They are the names that were missing, though, in the first half. They should have plenty of energy left in the tank. We said the Crows were under pressure. And there's the man of the moment, Adam Kingsley. 6 touches in the last 10 minutes. He's been the reason Port Adelaide are back in the contest.
So Marsh against French in the ruck. A lot of players around this ball. Tap down came to Goodwin. He swings it back into the centre of the ground. Bounce favours Hardwick. Ooh, top one high from Dowdy. Advantage is paid. Bishop kicks towards half forward, finds Burgoyne. Wants to take Massey on by foot and does. That released Wanganeen towards half forward and he marks. Close to the ground, 55 metres out. Plenty of Adelaide players have flocked back. They're struggling for space. An important hand in there from Perry. Can he create the turnover? Dowdy crashes through. Hardwick wrapped him up. It's spilt to Rashudo. The ball comes out now to John Cock. Great tackle laid on him by Mead, because if he got free, Adelaide were away.
That was tremendous work from Darren Mead. He left his man, Mark Stevens. He was open, just read the play beautifully and applied the tackle, pinned Graham Johncock's arm so he couldn't release the footy. great work from the Port Adelaide veteran.
12 the difference. Adelaide lead. Kane Corns back on. Bishop off. 66-54. Must be something on the footy. A bit of blood. It's off now. Nice and clean. Everything's set up.
It is blood, and the umpire's just wiped it on himself. He'll have to come off. Maybe it's just some paint off the sign.
Who knows what it is. Could be anything. 10-6 to 9 goals. Adelaide in front, but only just. Tiffany Cherry down on the boundary.
Montgomery's just re-emerged from the den and has about 5 or 6 stitches in his head. He's ready to come back on.
Thanks, Tiffany. Tiffany Cherry reporting for us on the boundary. Cockatoo Collins there, closest to screen. Throwing right in front of us. This is on the western side. Whistle on play. It's a Port Adelaide free kick. And Schofield delivers magnificently. And Port Adelaide are coming and coming. And Treadray's about 75 from goal. He puts it out in front of Stevens. Can't mark. Now a chance for Adelaide to clear. They can't afford to panic here. Edwards, Tyson Edwards, down ground to a contest. Polton getting his hand over. 2 or 3 against Mead. Flipping over the front. Chance for Adelaide now. Stevens inside 50. Good kick. Brilliant delivery, and Ryan Fitzgerald marks. Tight angle. So Adelaide need this because the Power have been coming and coming. They've been outplaying them in this quarter, and there's only 12 the difference. And Ryan Fitzgerald will kick from around about 45 metres. It's a tight angle. It's there. No mark. Barnaby French up in front. And eventually a free kick was sorted out, and it is going to Gavin Wanganeen for Port Adelaide. Now it'll go back. Now Gavin's run around the point post. It's been given a point to Adelaide. It has been given a point. So let's have another look at this, Chris. Why don't you walk through us?
Yeah, thanks for that.
Pretty straight.
One of the strangest rules in the game.
Yeah, Gavin Wanganeen straight down the middle.
Played on behind the goal line. A point to Adelaide results. The margin now 13 points. Approaching time on in this third term. Schofield. Handball to set up for him from Mead. He gets it back now. Comes wide towards the members' wing and finds Polton. Jared Polton coming up for his 5th possession for the evening. Been patient in this third term, Port Adelaide. Kicks towards Montgomery. He's got the full bandage balaclava type headgear on there. There he is.
It is not a great looking footy these days, is it? The bandaged head. It's become a real fashion statement in Aussie rules at the moment, but it doesn't do too many of them much justice.
Here's the attendance tonight, 49,513. Fantastic crowd, just below the record here at Football Park. Bickley to Goodwin. Towards half-forward Welsh. Little handball back towards Edwards. Adelaide just building now in the dying stages of this third term. Spears it inside 50. It was a one-on-one contest. Fitzgerald tries to butter up again. Welsh sockers it off the ground. It's an open goal square. Tracking back is Downey for Adelaide. He was their only chance. But in the end, Kane Corns got there first and sockers it through for a rush behind. So just diffuses the situation there. It's a foot race. Corns worked his way well to the front of the contest. With discretion, the better part of Bella. Port Adelaide could not afford to concede a goal late in this third term. The margin now 14 points. As we head down to Tiffany Cherry.
Matthew Bishop just receiving some treatment to his left knee, also to his left back. He just came off before.
A long kick-out option from Port Adelaide. Plenty of players around at Kingsley. Little give to Burgoyne. He kicks towards the wing. There's that man Schofield. His 16th possession. Thought about the handball. Then went inside himself. He's got runners in support. One of them is James. He'll kick it inside 50. There's Montgomery and Treadray. Ball spills to ground level. Smart had it and lost it. Treadray goes again. Little handball over the top. Massey working in there hard for Adelaide, trying to wrap it up. He dives on top of it, and he will be penalised. Dragged it back in, said the umpire. Free kick will go against Chris Massey. As Barnaby French trots to the bench for Port Adelaide, Brendan Lade will replace him, and it's a shot on goal for Port. Chris McDermott, what's your take on that one?
Well, that is the rule. If you drag the ball underneath you and you don't get it out, it is holding the footy. Chris Massey was guilty of that. It is a very, very brave decision. Nathan Bassett wasn't happy about it.
In the back area, he was just couldn't believe Brett Montgomery's headgear. He was horrified. But here's Guerra. Always a contentious one with his multiple sets of hands on the ball. Can Port make the most of it? Guerra comes in from 40 metres out and does exactly that. The margin now just 8 points at Football Park.
Cascade Premium Light. Pure premium taste.
Goal their 10th straight.
So Port back within 8 points. 4 goals to 1 in this third term. And we're set for a cracking final quarter at Football Park.
10-8 plays 10 goals. Port haven't missed. Quite extraordinary. 10-8 plays 10 goals. Up they go again. Laid, put both hands to it. Carr kicked away from him, and the umpire said it was a little dangerous. So Port again with a big opportunity to storm into attack. They're at half-back at the moment. That was Carr. Out very wide. Hardwick, good kick. And that is Brett Montgomery. Swings to a more central location. Charging up the ground as Treadray. Here's an opportunity for them as Burgoyne runs into the open goal, but he's pushed over, or he's pushed off balance, and as a result he's missed to the right-hand side. Good pressure by Adelaide.
Oh, that is Nathan Bassett all over. Never stops trying. Look at the desperation on that. I mean, that effort wins you games of footy. That is why Nathan Bassett is such a good player.
Bassett from the southern end. Pretty well smack bang down the middle. Down to centre half back. Punched inside 50 again. Now bouncing outside 50. Kingsley, who's had a very good quarter. Runs a long way and then swings it around. And this is Montgomery. Bouncing around. Montgomery again. Tries to hand pass it. Can't. Not effectively at least. Now Stevens from Marsh. Stevens chips it to Burton. Burton gathers. Gets away from Polton and then swings onto the left boot. Down to about 65 in the mark, a big stretching mark too, taken by Mead in defence.
So it's Adelaide by 7 points. Darren Mead has the football. Decides to go towards Polton. Bounced just inside the boundary line at his feet. And we'll have a throw in as we head down to the boundary line. Tiffany Cherry.
Kane Johnson, who I just said before, had a little bit of a problem with the hamstrings, come off again and receiving more treatment. Looks to be a little bit distressed.
The throw in Lade will go against Ben Marsh. Lade has palmed it down to Franco. Kingsley puts his body on the line. Crashing in was Goodwin. Kingsley got it out to Franco. Looping handball over the top to Guerra. And on to Corns. Corns towards Montgomery, who's been busy since he returned with the bandages. Handball to Treadray, put him under the pump. Schofield with a couple to beat, screws it around his body. James, Stevens, 15 metres out, goes bang and misses. Well, we mentioned moments ago they hadn't missed all night. Suddenly they missed 2 golden opportunities. And the margin back to 6 points as Nathan Bassett brings it in to the outer side of the ground.
Hart. 68-62, a minute and 46 seconds remaining until three-quarter time. Corns has taken a very good mark. That's Chad Corns. He swings it back. Mead bringing in the heavy artillery now. Kingsley, one-on-one. Burgoyne at the back. Well done again by Bassett. Outstanding stuff.
It was a tremendous work from Nathan Bassett. He was gone for all money. Burgoyne had the sit, but just gets that left arm in there every time.
Ben Hart. 10-8 to 10-3. 68 plays 63. Hart to the outer reaches of the 50, now out to 60. Rashudo gives off to Goodwin, who thunders through the middle of Football Park. Promising attack here. Maybe a late raid inside 50 for Adelaide in this third quarter, and the marker's taken. And they've got a big chance here. A big chance because Scotty Welsh will line up from around about 48 metres out. No real angle to concern himself with.
Well, that's why they say you've got to make the most of your opportunities in front of goal. Nick Stevens has a dead set gimme. He misses. Quick transference of play. Scotty Welsh now with every opportunity to make Port Adelaide pay.
There's a great shot from behind Scotty Welsh. It's righted with him. Drop punt. It swings back, and it is true. You reckon they didn't need that, Adelaide?
Get a VB cap with every slab of VB cans or stubbies for $27.99. Johnny Walker Red only $25.99. Celebrate this Mother's Day with Jacobs Creek Sparkling Range $8.99 each or $7.99 for 6 or more. St Agnes Brandy $20.99 or Bailey's Irish Cream only $26.99.
So Welsh gets his second goal for the quarter. And that one stings a little bit. Port Adelaide had a couple of opportunities late in the term, but missed them through Nick Stevens and Burgoyne. Adelaide take it down against the run of play and score a goal to push the margin back out to 11 points. We're right on three-quarter time. Lade to Franco, to Carr, towards the outer wing. James, they'll have to move it quickly. He steps inside, decides to kick long. They'll contest right on 50. Montgomery, the only chance for Port. Ball hits ground level. Schofield just tries to put it out in front of himself. Screws it around his body. Tries to keep it alive for Port. They want to keep it moving. Bow goes straight for the boundary line and finds it. The umpire says throw it in.
And some worrying signs for the Crows with the injury to Kane Johnson, the slight hamstring. Bickley on the bench, and they said he had a groin coming into this game. Just some injury worries going into the last quarter for the Crows.
We saw Warren Treadray there just suggesting that Matthew Bodie may have panicked a little bit. Wade got it down. Franco dispossessed as the siren sounds for three-quarter time. Much better quarter from the Port Adelaide Football Club. They kicked 4 goals in that term to Adelaide's 2. And the margin at three-quarter time in Showdown 11 is 11 points. It's the Crows 11-8-74. Port Adelaide 10-3-63.
Destroying evil makes home life more fun.
Yeah, Nancy Drew coming through.
These girls fight evil, but they can't fight those hormones. Oh, don't you just love a man who's good with his hands? All new Charms, 8:30 Tuesday.
Hey, listen here. May is huge audio sellout month at Truscott Hi-Fi.
Sharp 200-watt 6-disc CD systems, $200 off.
Truscott Hi-Fi, Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms.
My job at sea, I just do electrical work, maintain generators, lights. What I've done in the Navy is quite broad. Probably definitely one of the more worthwhile things that I've done was Timor. When we first turned up to the hospital, it was just a wreck. We got in there and we put a roof on it, wired it so that it had power and lighting and that sort of thing. I wouldn't say there'd be too many electricians that would go up and do the sort of things that we've done up there.
In Mozambique, the Inaminga tribe believe that if a man is skillful enough to capture a lock of a lion's mane, then his own hair will grow back. The men stalk the lion with great stealth and exceptional precision. There are many myths about regrowing hair, but for a proven way to help stop or slow hereditary hair loss in 4 out of 5 men, get Rogaine.
Things that make you go,
McDonald's new taste menu has the perfect breakfast. Get stuck into our awesome bacon and egg roll with a freshly cooked egg, sizzling rash of bacon, and barbecue sauce on a home-style bun.
Things that make you go,
Right. Yeah, they're here. Yeah, that's right, 3,000 units.
This is Doug.
No, that's not the problem.
Doug does his business banking from his computer.
No, I ordered 1,500 L224s and 1,500 L225s.
He can pay his staff, reconcile statements.
No, I tried that.
Maybe even pay the odd supplier. Ask Bank SA about business banking online.
Casual Living Furniture has taken delivery of an exciting new range of sofas in today's modern styles, colours, fabrics and leather. Whether it's a 2, 3 or 4-seater, Casual Living Furniture has a sofa to suit your decor. Casual Living Furniture, Keswick, Marion and Enfield.
Audiences are raving about We Were Soldiers.
Brilliant.
It was very emotional.
I thought it was very powerful.
Men are so young. When I look at them, I see our boys.
Very devastating.
Some of the best action scenes I've ever seen.
Mel Gibson was fantastic. Those are my men out there, and I'm going in to get them.
From the makers of Braveheart.
Very powerful.
The best war movie I've ever seen.
My heart was racing the whole way through.
Mel Gibson, We Were Soldiers, in cinemas now.
I wanted to do a trade, but I didn't want to just turn up and do the same thing every day. So this way in the Navy, I get to travel all around the world and go to most places that people have to pay thousands of dollars to see. Plus, they pay me to do it. So all in all, it's not bad, yeah.
Yeah, you know when you've been defeated, feeling low, you will always need it. Well, now you having fun. Well, now you still having fun.
The Panel, 9:30 Wednesday.
Years lays down the law.
Oh, and so he should. I mean, the Crows had this game within their grasp. They appeared to tie the last part of that quarter, and they've got to find something. They've got to dig deep. They need their leaders to stand up. Mark Rasciuto, Mark Bickley, Simon Goodwin are key players in this last quarter. They've got to get the ball away from the clearances. They've been able to do it all night, but one gets the feeling that Port Adelaide have some momentum. They play so well in the last halves of games of footy. They are coming home very strongly. They've had plenty of the footy. The Crows continue to dominate the footy at the centre breaks, though. The 12-6 break margin there shows that Adelaide have been very, very good at the contest, very good at ground level. But there's a sense of destiny about Port Adelaide this year, and there's a sense of destiny as they steamroll home tonight.
Tiffany Cherry is down on the boundary with Dean Bailey, the Port Adelaide assistant coach.
Dean, a couple of quick early goals then, but a few missed opportunities later in the quarter.
Yeah, we sort of were just hanging in the game there for the most of it, and then we opened the game a little bit. Two opportunities came our way, but that's footy. We've got to get on with it and hopefully come home in the last quarter.
49,500, just misses a record, but great to see the turnout.
Yeah, it's fantastic. A lot of supporters here. We'd like to see more Port supporters, but that's the way it is.
Mark Williams then got pretty fired up just in the last little address.
Oh, these are fairly important games. You know, you don't have to live here for too long to find out that the Crows Port games really bring out the best in people.
Right, I'll let you go, thanks.
So we mentioned early in that quarter they needed a spark, Port Adelaide. It came from Schofield, 12 possessions for the term. Kingsley had 11, Burgoyne and Hardwick had 6 apiece. For Adelaide, Goodwin had 7, Rasciuto 5. The midfield just got up and running.
Oh, certainly did. The move of Adam Kingsley into the centre square was a great one from Mark Williams. He got hold of the footy, pushed forward, kicked the goal, was instrumental in a couple of other goals. Schofield was dangerous in the Crows. Johnson injured and on the bench. Bickley injured on the bench. Big Lands injured and on the bench. The toll taking injuries taking their toll at three-quarter time.
So, very strong Adelaide crowd. We said 85-15. It may even be more than that.
Might be 95-5, I reckon.
It is amazing. Can they lift their side to victory? They lead by 11 points, the Crows, at three-quarter time. Get set for a cracking final term. As Marsh goes in the ruck against French, neither ruckman got it down. Bode in there working hard. Montgomery wraps him up. We'll have yet another bounce.
I mean, some great scenarios going into the last quarter. Benny Marsh thrust into this game, given an opportunity. It's now up to him to win the game of footy for the Crows. He's got to get his hand to the footy, get it away from the clearances.
French and Marsh wrestle each other. The ball just bounces in front of them. Umpire picks out a free kick. Not sure how, but it's gone to Port Adelaide. Barnaby French dishes off to Kingsley. Inside 50, Treadray. Great strong take out in front of Nigel Smart. Nigel Smart's done very little wrong tonight.
Well, and he did very little wrong there too. Warren Treadray on the burst. Just beautifully ran through the footy as you'd want forwards to do. A great pair of hands. These are the goals that Warren Treadray needs to kick.
9 possessions, 6 marks. He's kicked 1 this evening from right on 50. Oh, it's a high kick. It's going right to the line. It's not going to quite get there. And off the defensive fists and through for a rush behind. Port Adelaide, edge, that little bit closer.
I mean, it's been spoken about a lot, but that's his one flaw in his game. He has got a fantastic game and great potential, but he must learn to kick those goals.
The margin is now 10 points. Nigel Smart takes possession from the Ben Hart kick-in. At half-back, he goes long towards Perry. Mistimed his leap, but spilt to Goodwin at the back. To Rasciuto. Spears towards half-forward, looking for Burton. Kept the ball in front of him, tries to keep it in play. Cannot do so. We'll have a throw in.
Kick. No.
Deliberate. Well, there you go. It's going Port Adelaide's way, too. Have a look at the replay. There's Burton. I'm not so convinced he wasn't trying to tap it to his teammate.
Very stiff, very stiff.
Kane Corns has the resultant free kick. Port Adelaide have it at left half-back. He's called to play on.
So Corns plays on, gets around the man coming at him and then goes short. That's a push in the back, surely, against Smart. Umpire didn't seem to agree. Treadray was the one who appeared to be inconvenienced. Now Nelson, short pass is okay for Adelaide. And Burton, tight angle, 50 metres from goal. They lead by 10, squaring it into the corridor. And Goodwin has it. 74-64 early stages last quarter, showdown 11. Goodwin thinking, looking, and then goes long, left foot kick to the goal square, almost Fitzgerald, well done at the back by Wanganeen. Thought about putting it onto the turf, and then eventually goes very long. There's no one out there, all Adelaide, so they'll bring it back in again. Matthews had a very good game, just made one mistake. Short pass by Bassett, about 35 metres over the head of most. Opportunity now for Port to try and work it out. Mead, high kick, Montgomery, and over the line, Massey involved in that. Umpire to toss it in. 74-64, Adelaide lead.
I'm pretty happy with his work tonight, Chris Massey. As we see Nigel Smart doing what he does best, bring the ball to ground and spoil. Maybe a little bit lucky.
To the back of the ruck contest. Kingsley's there. Just couldn't quite pick it up the first attempt. That allowed Bowe to close in on him. Wraps it up. Love about 60 metres out from the Adelaide goal. They lead by 10 points in front of 49,513. Just 300 off the record for an AFL game at Football Park. That was when these two sides met here in round 18 last season. French and Marsh. Marsh got it down to Bode. Quick little kick inside 50 momentarily. Stevens to Doughty. Tries to get onto his left side. He's wrapped up in a tackle. It spills to Corns. Kane Corns just eludes the lunging Brett Burton. Gets it out to Polton. Across his body, James just wants to get it and go. Nelson's tackle was a strong one. Comes to Schofield. The shepherd laid by James. Releases Schofield. The chase came from Johncock. Put pressure on the kick. Treadray, back to Schofield. He's 55 out, could set sail for home. Instead he goes short looking for Burgoyne. Tried to turn Ben Hart inside out. Not an easy thing to do. It comes to Montgomery. He kicks to the top of the goal square. The pack slides and the mark is taken by Corns. A hard-working build-up there from Port Adelaide off half-back. They worked and worked and worked. Wasn't always pretty, but at the end, Chad Corns has a shot on goal, 20 metres out, slight angle.
And they get, again, Brett Montgomery just getting the footy into the danger zone. And Chad Corns, fantastic in the air, great courage.
From point-blank range, puts it straight through the middle. He's kicked his third, and the margin is just 4 points.
Discount City Carpets exclusively brings you Gracewood. Be it home, office or showroom, Gracewood is the only multi-layered, non-warp, single-plank natural timber flooring. At present, Discount City Carpets have released a limited stock of this superb timber flooring at the unbeatable price of just $59.95 per square metre. Gracewood is easy to install for the handy person, or installation can be arranged. Gracewood and Discount City Carpet Superstores, an unbeatable team.
So what a fitting finale to this showdown. Early stages, last quarter, for the difference. Corns with a big mark and a goal. He's kicked three. Nelson tied up. High kick out of the middle. Biglands only went about 15-20 metres. Here's Welsh, who's about 75 from goal, kicks inside 50. Port Adelaide lead in the race. Close to the boundary line, it's over. Darryl Wakeland happy to wander over that boundary line with a footy in his grasp. 14 minutes and 54 seconds remain in the first showdown for 2002. French. Oh, here's an opportunity for Bode. High kick. Adelaide in the van here. Great mark taken by Ryan Fitzgerald. He's only 25 metres from goal.
And again, some very poor work from Port Adelaide defensively at the back of the pack in the contest. Ball comes over the back. Matty Bode in a good spot. Again, getting the ball into the danger zone. Ryan Fitzgerald slipping Wakeland for one of the few occasions this evening. And not noted as the best kick for goal you've ever seen.
Well, he needs this one, Chris.
He sure does.
There's no doubt about that. So Fitzgerald from around about 25 metres, and he has missed. He's missed. 5 the difference. 75 plays 70.
Oh, that's what pressure does to you. It forces you to do things you wouldn't normally do. His run-up wasn't good. And that was the result.
Stevens with the kick in, goes long again, straight up the middle. Huge pack of players, but it spills to Cockatoo Collins. The tackle from Stengline just enough to hold him up. Bode to Doughty. Little chip kick looking for and finding Marsh, although it was pinched out of his hands by Schofield. Umpire said he had enough of it. The mark paid to Ben Marsh. Right on centre wing. Stengline just telling him where to go in the nicest possible way. To Goodwin. He takes the mark, runs to 45, on the run, Goodwin! Goal, Adelaide!
Stratfield catalogue sale is on now. The Nokia 8250 now free on the Your Call 55 plan with $55 of calls a month. That's right, free. Plus connect now and receive a free $50 gift voucher. $55 of free calls a month, free Nokia 8250, free $50 voucher. Plus choose Optus any phone and pay only 30 cents for a 10-minute call to any mobile or land phone between 8 p.m. and 7 a.m. 7 days. Stratfield, the right choice. Call 1311 77. Catalogue out now.
11 the difference. 81-70. And the Crows in front. They're hanging on by the collective skins of their teeth. Ball set to be bounced again. Barnaby French. Focused eyes. And Marsh. Marsh wins it. Kingsley, who was magnificent in the third quarter. High kick down to centre half forward. Well done, Perry. Knocked it to the front. Second effort, very good. Bode gets tackled well. Here's Schofield accelerating away. Schofield around the corner. Kicks to the goal square. It's through for a behind. No, it's out of bounds. Dear, oh dear. Big build-up there. Huge build-up. But no score. 81-70.
Well, he's the danger man, Jared Schofield, getting hold of the footy at will. The Crows need to slow him down.
Port another opportunity here. This throw-in will pretty much go towards the top of the goal square. Corns tried to take it from the ruck. Perry grabbed him. Corns goes it alone, bounces it right to the line. And Ben Hart concedes the rush behind.
Pretty good tonight, Benny Hart. Hasn't had an enormous amount of the footy, but always does the discipline thing.
He has the kick in. Spotted a man out wide. On the outer side, it's Burton. To Bassett. Just sold him into trouble. Back to Burton. Had to slap it over the top. Had numbers. Nigel Smart runs off half-back and then kicks long towards half-forward. Welsh will fly from behind. The fist away from Hardwick. Spilt to Mead. To Kingsley. And then over the top to Polton. He goes around the outer wing. He's got Treadray in space. His man Smart was the man who charged down moments ago. Treadray. Thumping kick inside the 50. Pack flies. Ball hits the deck. Corns crashes through the Smart tackle. Burton nabs his man. Little handball to space. Just sits up there for Nelson. Tries to get around Corns. Dishes to Smart. Smart a high kick. French just camps underneath it. And he'll pump it back into attack for Port Adelaide. Handball to Mead. He comes towards the member's side. The kick was misdirected. It suited Doughty. He was looking for Carr, but Doughty will gather. Swings onto that right boot towards half forward. John Cock. At the back, it spills to Stevens, to Bode. Adelaide building from 70, inside the 50. Up goes Stevens, couldn't take the mark. Chance here for Welsh. Handball missed the body of Rashudo. Mead comes crashing in. So does Kingsley. Hardwick there as well for Port Adelaide. And we'll have a bounce right on 50.
Oh, some pressure on now, boys, and we said the Crows have played a high-intensity game all night and wondering whether they had enough petrol in the tank to go the journey. They are digging deep. It will be a courageous victory if they can get over the line.
Adelaide by 10, still hanging on. Still hanging on. 81-71. Bounce right on 50 for Adelaide. Door slightly open for them. Marsh there. Franco, well done. Couple of hand passes. Stevens, Cockatoo Collins gave it to Stevens. Stevens out wide. Adelaide a chance to go back into attack again, although overrunning the football there was Tyson Edwards. It's over the line. And this is on the western side of Football Park. And Bishop getting set to come on for Port. Umpire tossing it in front of the members. Goodwin, left foot, jams it onto the boot quickly. Into John Cox territory, he's back on the ground. He's got a chance here now. No ball rolls away from him. Out of bounds. Just up from the forward pocket for Adelaide.
Approaching the middle stages of this final term. It's 10 points the margin in favour of the Crows. Port Adelaide haven't led all night. They've got within a goal. That's as close as they've got. French. Wrapped up by Marsh. We'll have a bounce right on 50 for the Crows. Just waiting for the game breaker, aren't you, Chris?
Yep.
From one way or the other. Someone to do something a bit special and just crack it open. The pressure's been building all night. And it's still up for grabs here at Footy Park. Franco had it kicked out of his hands. And it finds the boundary line.
Well, it's got to be somebody from Port Adelaide. I mean, the Crows are happy for the ball to go out of bounds and slow it down. Port Adelaide need one of their leaders, a Stevens, a Franco, a Wanganeen, to put their hand up and do something special.
Another throw in. Kingsley gets first hands on it. Doughty wraps him up, prevents him from disposing of it effectively. And yet another bounce.
You can't afford to let these packs go on and on and on. Again, Adelaide, that's what Adelaide want. Keep it in tight, keep it ugly. Port need to break the game open.
Still plenty of time for Port Adelaide. Back towards the boundary line again. And we've just reached a stalemate here in the last couple of minutes. Just over 10 minutes remaining in this final term. It's the Crows by 10 points. A crucial couple of minutes of play. You just get the feeling here. It's been bottled up on this half-forward flank. Whichever side can break away could do something special. Doughty, kick partly smothered. French piles in again. So does Bode. And Rashudo, yet another bounce.
How often do you see it, 4 or 5 ball-ups, a couple of minutes of wasted time, then all of a sudden it'll open up. Somebody will do something special. The umpire will pull a free kick out. Somebody will break away, and a goal often happens after 2 or 3 minutes of play like this.
Tense times for Gary Ayres in the Adelaide coach's box. He's side-led by as much as 28 points. French. Emerging is Doughty. Tried to get it to John Cock. Port Adelaide there in numbers to make sure that doesn't happen. Kingsley takes it to the line. So a real arm wrestle developing here. Mark Williams on the phone. You can see the tension all over his face. As Mark Bickley prepares to come back on for Adelaide. Nelson tries to get it out. John Cock, can he keep it in? Wanganeen there. Marsh tries to emerge with it. Schofield smothers, and yet another throw in. Mark Asen, get us out of here.
See, I'll tell you what, Chris, you've seen a couple of 1%ers in the last 2 or 3 minutes. How important are they?
Oh, look, it's been tremendous. It's been happening all night. The tackling, the blocking, the smothering as Mark Bickley comes on, replaces Ben Nelson.
Former skipper back on. Adelaide inside there, attacking 50. Not for long, though. Port Adelaide get it out to the wing, and Burton knocks it over the line. He and Montgomery attacking it strongly.
But I mean, this is great. It's what footy's all about. The game's in the balance. It's a crucial game for both clubs. The Crows need to win one of these 3. The Power need to win this one to keep momentum.
Well, we were waiting to see who was going to come off for Bishop. It was Mead. Here's an opportunity for Carr. No real pressure. Screw punt. Gains about 35, 40 metres down to Treadray. Tried to judge it. In the end, it was over the line. Smart with him. Wearing him tightly. It's done well, Smart. They're the two champs. Warren Treadray signing a long-term contract with Port Adelaide earlier this year. And Smart's been a wonderful player for the Adelaide Footy Club. 10 the difference. It's still tight. Not a lot of room for error. And we're past the halfway mark of the last quarter, and a bounce once again.
Well, Adelaide have been effective. They've run down a couple of minutes off this play clock. The margin's still 10 points. 8.5 minutes remaining in this contest. Still anyone's game by all means. Port Adelaide just need to break the congestion. They look so good in the second half with some free-flowing run through the lines. Here's Franco. Throws all around them. Dispossessed. It comes to Bode. Kicks back towards the wing, but Port Adelaide a chance here. Schofield takes the mark. Wants to move it on quickly. Has 3 men inside. One of them's Cockatoo Collins. The second is Stevens. He spears the kick towards half forward and finds Guerra. Cockatoo Collins has run on for him. He chips it inside 50 and Cockatoo Collins back with a fly to the ball. Stuck up the 1 mid and dragged it back in. He'll have a shot on goal from 40 metres out, pretty much directly in front as Massey comes off and Kane Johnson comes on.
Yeah, very surprising move, Kane Johnson with a slight hammy, but what a kick this is for Shea Cockatoo Collins. Hasn't had a big night, only the 8 touches, but no more important touch than this one.
6 goals, 3 for the season. Scoreless this evening.
And he would love this centre stage. This is where he is at his best.
This to bring the margin back to 4 points. From 40 metres out. Kick on its way. He likes it. Game on at Footy Park.
And there's the siren and another great result. They're on a roll. They are on fire. They're unbeatable at home and they're just as brilliant away. No one's even getting close.
Golden draft, thanks.
At Kmart AFL headquarters, this replica AFL game ball
is just $24.99 each.
And this adult half-zip polar fleece top is only $29.99. Save 10.
Until Sunday.
Kmart is the home of low prices.
And at that moment, he performed the best he possibly could. A very, very important goal. And we are in for a belter of the last 10 minutes, boys.
For the difference, that's 4 points. 12-9 plays 12-5. Clean takeaway important here for one of these sides. Schofield just gets through and hand passes magnificently to Barnaby French, out to Kingsley. And now to Polton, who's about 85 from goal, kicks inside the 50. Bassett has got to stand up. He's done very well. This time he doesn't stand up. He gets caught. He gets caught hook, line and sinker. And as a result, Port Adelaide keep it in the area. But not for long because the free kick's been sorted. And Johnson's got it. 81-77. Johnson from half-back, chipping it down to Doughty. And Doughty just backward of the wing. So there'd be probably 10 minutes remaining. Last quarter, first showdown for 2002, and Adelaide in front by just 4 points. Doughty's kick to a very congested area. Ball hits the dead car. Cockatoo Collins who kicked the last goal. Now to Hardwick, and Hardwick from half-back. Received from Kingsley. Downfield, strong mark, Perry. A wonderful mark. And Perry changes direction, goes into the middle, and he finds John Cock. 81-77, John Cock to a loose body. It's an Adelaide body. It's Stevens. He gets caught. Guerra. They turn it around. James now. An opportunity for Schofield. High kick. Almost. Oh, gee, bodies crashing. Port Adelaide with the numbers, though. This is Burgoyne. 50 metres from goal. Has a shot. And they are in front.
So what about the tackling? I mean, fantastic work from Port Adelaide. We wondered whether the Crows would tire, and Jarrett Schofield again involved in the play. He's been the match winner in the second half. Benny Hart doing everything you could ask, back with the flight, showing courage. Burgoyne, front and square, the consummate finisher, and for the first time in the game, boys, Port Power are in front.
Well, we've just ended time on in the final term. Fantastic contest. Port Adelaide by 2 points, courtesy of that goal to Peter Burgoyne. The Adelaide crowd, it's a pro-Adelaide crowd. They're pretty stunned at the moment. Can the Crows fight back? Back in the middle of the ground, Marsh against French. Players piling on top of it. We'll have yet another bounce.
Sometimes they say the 1%ers win your games of footy. Mark Stevens breaking clear, run down by the Port Adelaide player. The ensuing turnover results in a goal to Port Power. The beauty of the 1%er.
Just over 5.5 minutes remaining, plenty of time. French tries to take it from the ruck. Marsh had hold of him. Bickley towards half forward. Going back with the flight was Johnson, couldn't take the mark. There's Wanganeen working hard at ground level. Franku, Welsh, players from both sides just piling in hard.
It's where the game's turned at ground level. The Crows were completely dominant in the first half. Players like Goodwin, Bickley, Johnson had enormous first halves. Doug Tired and Jared Schofield, Adam Kingsley, Peter Burgoyne, Roger James have taken control of the contest at ground level.
Well, the stage is set for one player to step up and write himself into showdown folklore. Here's Scotty Welsh from 55 metres out, dribbles the kick inside the 50. Schofield rides the Rashudo bump, swings it wide and finds Michael Stevens. Wants to move it round the outer side quickly. Goes to Kingsley, who's been outstanding. His 24th possession. Kingsley by hand to the run of Schofield. In fact, it was Polton. He goes to Franco. And Franco will go inside 50, and the mark is taken by Burgoyne. Well, Peter Burgoyne, we've seen he's got ice in his veins. He kicked the winning goal against the Blues here a couple of years ago. And what an important kick this is.
Sure is. He's a paid finisher as Mark Bickley comes off the ground, replaced by Ben Nelson. And again, Port Adelaide's running power late in the game. We said they play well in the second half. They've certainly proven that the case tonight. Jared Schofield again getting his hands on the footy, ending up in the very, very safe hands of Peter Burgoyne. And if you choose a bloke to have a shot for goal for you boys, this might be one of them.
So the margin's 2 points. We've gone 22.5 minutes in this final term. Burgoyne will kick from 45 metres out. On its way. It looks good. It's home. Port Adelaide lead by 8 points.
The Doorbuster Door Sale is on this weekend at Doors Plus for 4 days only. All stock reduced by up to 50%. You will save on bifolds, entry doors, interior doors, 10-light joinery doors, and locks, knobs and knockers. Plus we can fit, stain and deliver. Save up to 50% this weekend only at the Doors Plus 4-day Doorbuster Sale. Ends Monday. For a free measure and quote and huge savings, visit a Doors Plus showroom today. Doors Plus, no fuss.
So Mark Williams is very rarely relaxed, but he must be feeling a little happier now because his side is 8 points in front and there's not long to go. 14-5, plays 12-9 and there's just under 4 minutes remaining, so there is time for Adelaide, but not if things like this happen. And that's Franco getting hold of the footy and shooting it short. And the mark is taken by Stevens. Two of the wonderful on-ballers for Port Adelaide. Here goes Stevens now. Long bomb to the goal square and punch through again. This time it's by Bassett. I say this time again by Bassett. He's done that 2 or 3 times and the margin is out to 9 points.
So the question's been asked of Adelaide. Can they respond? They need a goal. Bassett kicks wide to the outer side. The mark is taken by Burton. Still time for Adelaide. 3.5 minutes remaining. It comes out towards Edwards. Round the outer wing. Wanganeen stands tall for Port Adelaide. Couldn't quite take the mark. Opportunity again for Adelaide. It comes to Stenglein. Tries to get around Franco. Good tackle. Ball comes back to Johnson. He goes short and finds Goodwin. Just forward to centre wing, outer side of the ground. Port Adelaide lead by 9 points. Inside 50, big pack of players. It spills to Boat, couldn't get boot to ball. Port Adelaide desperate in defence, and they force the ball up.
They certainly do, and the Crows are still not without hope. Ball inside their forward 50. Some great desperate tackling then from Port Adelaide, but the game is far from over. The Crows need to dig deep. Can they pitch a goal from this contest?
So Marsh, up he goes, taps it down. Shark by Wakeland. High kick towards the wing and the mark is taken by Corns.
Well, that was significant. I mean, the Crows have been fantastic at the clearances tonight. When they needed to win one, the game was in the balance. Port Adelaide got it away far too easily.
So the clock's been Port's enemy all night until about the last 5 minutes. And now they're happy to just chip it around. Corns short to Bishop. The margin's 9 points. Couple of minutes remaining.
Too early to start running it down yet.
Bishop. Back towards the wing. A lot of players around the ball. Stevens was his target, and he's more than happy to take it to the boundary for a throw-in.
Yes, I'd say you've got to be very careful with 2 minutes on the clock and only 2 goals the difference.
We go back 10 minutes, we think of the 2 or 3 minutes down here that Adelaide just wasted. They'd love to have those minutes back right now. French Tapped it down. A minute 50 remaining as Edwards goes inside the 50. Stevens on the half volley. Handball off. Bode squares it looking for Downey. Important fist away from Cockatoo Collins. A loose ball. Cockatoo Collins goes again. Sockers it off the ground into space. Nelson leads the foot race. Chance here, in fact, it's Johncock. He'll take it towards the boundary, but he's got to keep it in. He can't. And we'll have a throw in. With a minute 28 left on the clock, it's Port Adelaide by 9 points. Almost last roll of the dice time here for the Crows.
Throw in right half forward. Adelaide. They trail, and there's less than a minute and a half to go. Now the umpire sorted a free kick out. It's Adelaide's free kick. A minute 20 remaining. Marsh has control of the footy. Port Adelaide have control of the game. Marsh well inside 50. They need a mark. Adelaide have got one! Oh, wonderful mark to Stevens. A minute 10 to go. Stevens, tough angle. 48 metres from goal. Just over a minute to go. 1 minute. Smack bang on a minute to go in the first of the showdowns for 2002.
He's just got to relax and kick the goal. He just got to settle. He has got time on his side. The most important thing is Mark Stevens kicks this goal.
He's got two already. There's Stevens' kick. It's not bad. It's not going to be a goal. It'll fall just short. Almost Marsh. Right over the top. It's forced through for a behind. And the margin is now 8.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing about that, apart from this goal, it gives possession to Port Adelaide. They now have control of the game. Got to hit a target now, Nick Stevens. The Crows still have time, but they must intercept this inbound pass.
So Port Adelaide just need to maintain possession. Stevens will go wide to the outer side. That was the important kick, that first one.
Certainly was.
And it found its target. Bolton inboard, back to Stevens, who at defensive 45 is happy to just sit on it. Port Adelaide by 8 points. A long kick towards the outer wing. Big pack flies. Smart takes the mark for Adelaide. Pump it back inside the 50. They'll contest right on. Wakewood camped underneath it, takes the mark for Port Adelaide. And there is the siren to signal a famous victory for the Port Adelaide Football Club. 28 points down in this contest. They were struggling at half-time. They've come out in the second half and kicked 8 goals to 3. And they are jubilant, as well they might be, to register a famous 8-point win. Port Adelaide 14-6-90. The Adelaide Crows 12-10-82.
Just one of the great contests, boys. I mean, you've got to take your hat off to both teams. Unfortunately, as they say, there has to be a winner and a loser. The Crows were courageous in defeat. But what credit you've got to give to this team, Port Adelaide. They were fantastic. They were nearly gone for all money. But they come home hard. They have supreme fitness. And as we said, there's a sense of destiny about this club. Tonight was an important step in that direction.
It's 19 points to the Crows at quarter time. 22 points to the Crows at half-time. 11 points to the Crows at three-quarter time. But in that final term, Port Adelaide kicked 4 goals to 1, and they've pinched it. The second showdown in a row, they've come from behind, and they've won them both by 8 points.
Yeah, look, they were fantastic, and did the injury toll and the style of the game that the Crows played in the first half, so high intensity, the tough tackling, it took its toll. They were out on their feet in the last quarter, had nothing left in the tank. Their on-ballers were gone. They were so dominant in the first half, but had no petrol left. And the power led by Jared Schofield and inspired by Jared Schofield and Adam Kingsley in the second half. A great victory to that club. A wonderful game befitting a showdown. Adelaide were gallant. Let's head down to the boundary line. Here's Tiffany Cherry.
Chad, scenes reminiscent of last year. What a fantastic finish.
Definitely the best win I've ever been involved in. To come back like that, pretty ordinary in the first half, but to finish off the way we did, that's just brilliant.
And you saw personally 3 goals, a great game.
Oh, you know, 3 goals, a bit quiet, but he just took the opportunities when they came, so it's good.
And the crowd almost a record. It's 300 under, but I mean, what a fantastic crowd and what a great showdown they saw.
Yeah, nothing better playing in front of a crowd like this, and yeah, just great to win.
And now 3-2, you go into West Coast at home, and obviously with a little bit of a run now.
Yeah, back on track now, which is good, so we've got to keep this form up now.
All right, well done. We'll let you go and enjoy it. Thanks.
So Port Adelaide go down to their cheer squad. Not many of them here tonight. They were vastly outnumbered. But the couple of thousand that were here have certainly enjoyed themselves.
Absolutely. They made a lot of noise in the end there. Silenced the Crows crowd. There was probably 45,000 Crows supporters, 4,000 or 5,000 Port ones. But look, they were tremendous. That was gutsy. Both clubs, fantastic courage in that win. Hard tackling, a great game of footy. As you said, the ideal showdown game. And some really key players for Port Adelaide stood up when the game needed to be won. You said games like that turn players into superstars. Jared Schofield, I thought, second half. He grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck with powerful running, beautiful use of the footy, along with Adam Kingsley, Peter Burgoyne, who kicked a couple of goals. Chad Corns was very important when it counted. And they are one very happy footy club. Off to a pretty slow start after a great Wizard Cup. But they have momentum now. They've got a very good draw. And they are genuine contenders in this competition this year, that is for sure.
It was a fascinating contest. We felt the momentum just turn early in the third term, but as we mentioned during the call, it didn't come with a rush.
It didn't, and the significant point that we've probably forgotten, no Matthew Primus. I mean, we know what an inspiration he is, and at half-time, they looked to be rudderless and in need of their leader, but they found other leaders in Schofield and Kingsley and co. that led this club a very significant moment to win an important game of footy without a couple of very important players. They deserve everything and every round of applause they are getting as they walk off this ground very triumphant.
So it could be a crucial win for Port Adelaide, which Mark Aston just builds them beautifully now. They've won 3 on the trot. Slow couple of weeks early on. People were starting to ask some questions, yep, unfairly. But now that they've won 3 on the trot, they've got a great launching pad. And a win like this just builds an amazing amount of confidence and belief in the side.
Well, they go into the game against West Coast as you would think favourites. They did have their detractors a couple of weeks ago, but one of the things that you'll notice about Port Adelaide in the local competition here, and now, of course, the Power, is that they love people knocking them. They love it. They thrive on it. And what they do is they turn things around, and that's exactly what's happened over the last 2 or 3 weeks. I had a good look at the showdown from last year, and there were certain similarities, of course. As you mentioned, Jason, here's the song.
Eviction number 2 is approaching. Katrina really wants to stay.
Will she go?
Turkan's found a new soulmate.
Will they part?
Alex is a first-time nominee.
Is he next?
You decide who's about to join Damien on the outside. Big Brother Eviction, 7:30 Sunday. Then 7:30 Monday.
Marty. Pete.
Jess.
They're becoming more open about their feelings towards each other. So who are they nominating next? And why? Live nominations, 7:30 Monday.
We started playing cricket, and I hit the ball so high that Uncle Mark, he forgot where he was going. He tried to catch the ball and landed face first in the mud. It was so funny, Dad. You should have been there.
At Radio Rentals, we'll give you 36 interest-free reasons to buy. Get a big screen TV, hi-fi or home theatre system over $1,500 on 36 months interest-free terms with no deposit. 36 months interest-free terms with no deposit. Offer must end April 30. Radio Rentals, we know interest-free.
All good things must come to an end. And so it is with the Henley Properties sale. With savings of between $10,000 and $15,000, it simply couldn't last forever. The Henley Properties sale, ending soon.
Here's something that'll really hit the spot. The Hungry Jack's Chicken Schnitzel Burger. Tender chicken schnitzel, cheese, lettuce, mayonnaise, all topped off with a sesame seed bun. It comes with a regular Coke and fries, all for just $5.25. Now that smacks of value. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
If you need to perform some home improvement magic, jump into Bunnings Warehouse. We have the biggest range at the lowest prices every day. Dual carry tray only $2.95. Dolphin torch below $10.95. 4-litre Taubman's Living Proof from $49.98. Smoke alarm a bargain at $8.98. And 650-gram snail pellets only $1.74. We won't be beaten on price. And that's guaranteed.
Bunnings Warehouse.
Lowest prices are just the beginning.
In Western Australia, our carpets touch you. Come to Western Australia and be touched by nature. Fly Qantas from Adelaide to Perth and enjoy 3 nights accommodation from $559 per person. See your travel agent or call Qantas Holidays on 13 14 15.
Hello? Yeah, look, I want to quit smoking.
Sure, well, you've taken the first step. That's great. Planning ahead is really important.
And I can send you a quit book if you'd like.
Call Quitline on 131848. 131848.
At Radio Rentals, we'll give you 36 interest-free reasons to buy. Get a big screen TV, hi-fi or home theatre system over $1,500 on 36 months interest-free terms with no deposit. 36 months interest-free terms with no deposit. Offer must end April 30. Radio Rentals, we know interest-free.
Well, there could be nothing sweeter than pipping your crosstown rival on the post, and that's what Port Adelaide have done tonight. 14-6-90, they have defeated the Adelaide Crows 12-10-82 by 8 points. It was Adelaide by 22 points at half-time, but 8 goals to 3 in the second half saw Port Adelaide come storming home to a famous 8-point victory as we head down to the Port Adelaide rooms for the presentation of the Showdown Trophy to acting Port Adelaide skipper Warren Treadray. And it'll be very, very sweet, Mark Aston. 4 in a row for Port Adelaide.
Oh, they're travelling beautifully, aren't they? And they remember last year doing exactly the same thing, coming from behind, and that's exactly what they did tonight. Sensational performance for them. Probably a little bit quiet tonight by his standards. Great game last week, but he'd be happy and they'd be proud. And as we said in the commentary, they'd be very pleased that they did that without their skipper, Matty Primus.
And the Showdown medal, of course, awarded to the best player on the ground. Here's the presentation of the Showdown medal. And the winner is Jared Schofield. 29 possessions, really got Port Adelaide up and running in that third term.
Yeah, he's been a fantastic contributor this year. In fact, he's been one of the most improved players, Jared Schofield, in 2002. He'd be proud too. He will have a wonderful night. And I'll tell you something, they'll be absolutely buzzing down at Albertson. And Albertson, there'd be probably 5,000 or 6,000 down there.
Let's head down to the winners' rooms. Tiffany Cherry has Port Adelaide coach Mark Williams.
Well, Mark, everyone's been saying that this is probably one of the best wins they've been involved in. Where would you rate it?
Yeah, it's right up there to be, pretty well out of the game for most of the game, and I think it probably a straight kicking kept us in it early, and the guys just kept chipping away and really believing in themselves, and it was a great effort to get over the line.
It almost seems reminiscent of last year as well, the win last year.
Oh, look, to win when it's Adelaide's home game and in front of their crowd to come back like that is something really special and one that we'll really cherish for a long time.
And it's really given you a run now. You've won 3 in a row, obviously great, 5 games in.
Yeah, after a shaky start to win the next 3 is great, and it kind of sets us up. Got a big task next week, though, with West Coast coming over after beating the Giant Killers.
And Jared Schofield, a fantastic game.
Yeah, it's the best game I've ever seen him play. He's kicked goals for us, but he played tough footy, and he was tagged, and he really worked hard, really instrumental. I think there's a couple of hard ball gets there at the end he could really cut out and put in his resume as some of the greatest things he's done in footy.
So you get to keep the crown for another year?
No, we play him again, so I'm sure that they'll be ready, and it'll be a 50-50 game again. Obviously, we hope that Primus and Dew and a few of those guys are back by then, and they'll obviously have Andrew McLeod back, so it'll be another mix and something that the South Australian public really look forward to.
Primus hopefully back next week?
Yeah, we hope he will be back. It was touch and go whether to play him or not today. We took the chance, and in the end it worked out well. But the the showdown is a terrific thing, and the West End sponsorship for us is great, and it really does help South Australian footy.
All right, we'll enjoy the night of celebrations.
Great,
Thanks, Horace.
thank you very much.
So a satisfied Mark Williams there. His sorry side come from 22 points down at half-time to steamroll Adelaide in the last term and win it by 8 points. We'll be back with lots more from Footy Park.
Can we interest you in a mind game? Introducing two of the greatest players.
How do we trip this guy up?
At the special time Sunday.
People like me are always target.
Two compelling cases. A twisted psychiatrist on a mind mission.
I have plenty of lady friends.
And a good cop gone bad.
Let's not run games on each other.
See the clues. Seek the killer. Don't miss a minute.
I got money. Whoa, whoa!
A special movie-length premiere. Criminal Intent. 8:30 Sunday on 10.
You win. At Wayne Phillips Ford. You win. With affordable Ford. You win. With the winning team. Multitudes. New and used. You win with Wayne Phillips. Wayne Phillips Ford.
Here at Autobarn, we're big on seat covers. We've got a huge range with cheapies from $14.95 a pair to sheepies from $59.95 a pair. Any auto shop worth its salt should have the spare parts you need. So get your best genuine quote, bring it in and we'll beat it. And we've always got great prices on everyday parts, like this truck and four-wheel drive battery for $79.95. So come and see us at Autobarn, Elizabeth and Mile End.
Osvac's price attack is cutting prices down to size, like the Backstream Ultra with 360-degree swivel hose and 1,500 watts of firepower. Osvac's price just $79 with trade-in. This state-of-the-art cyclonic cleaner features the latest bagless technology, so you never buy dust bags again. With an incredible 1,600 watts, it easily passes Osvac's bowling ball test. In fact, it's so powerful, it picks up 2 bowling balls with ease. And Osvac's price an unbeatable $198 with trade-in. So join the price attack today at Osvac.
Some people say this isn't sport. This is my sport. Some people say this is sport. This is my life, And whatever it is to you, do it in style. Rowan Jarman.
There's a vitamin drink so rich and creamy, it brings added beauty to your hair. Unlike some shampoos, Pantene's rich pro-vitamin system doesn't just coat your hair. It actually penetrates deep within, making your hair up to 7 times healthier looking from root to tip. Pantene Pro V, not just promises, just proof of your best healthy looking hair.
He's got no heart, he's a big girl, and he shouldn't be on the footy field.
Got an opinion on footy? Here's your chance to have your say and be a part of Channel 10's Simply Footy.
Port need to get over the Wizard Cup.
Can I swear on TV?
My dog would make a better coach than that.
Whatever happened to the drop punt?
Call in to the Grandstand Bar at Sky City Adelaide this Tuesday, 7:30 to 8:30, and have your say.
Some people think I'm Andrew McLeod's love child.
At Wayne Phillips Kia, you win right here. At Wayne Phillips Kia, you win right here. Yes, you win at Wayne Phillips Kia.
Very satisfying 8-point win for Port Adelaide in Showdown 11. It takes the ledger to 7-4 in favour of Port. They've won their last 4 showdowns. There was another game on tonight, round 5 action. It was in Melbourne at Colonial Stadium. It was St Kilda versus Sydney. If you don't want to know the score, look away now.